Entries into the series futsal jungle, and right now those Lions have been prowling, certainly on the break.
And look who's on court. Lucas Brandau donning the number 9, obviously possessed by Lucas Vaz.
you know much about him? He's from New South Wales, is that correct, Ethan?
He is, he's from Enfield All-Stars. He's had a good season over there so far as well. Another string to Pasco Vale's bow. Bring them some flair, or bring them an explosive element.
Pimenta dispossessed by Jimenez. Newen isolated, not around Swadan. Transition now from the current league leaders. Rahan Ali, nice touch on the edge of the D. Pimenta has it roll wide. Abdallah, you feel Stat would have gotten there.
Yeah, he had a cover, I think, Mazen Abdallah there.
The Mad Cat, Abdallah, looks for Newen. Postelakis wasn't certain. Newen, under his spell, goes down, whistle, hasn't sounded. Brandau, Caro, back towards Brandau, Jimenez. Bit pedestrian, Pimenta strolls into possession. Swedan, Cooper peeling off laterally. One-on-one with the doctor. Swedan trying to twist around Andre Caro, who's gotten the ball back.
Does well, the doctor. Did very well. If you're uncertain, clear it. He done well there, getting it off Ahmed Swedan and cleaning it and starting again for Pasco Vale.
Had to reset. Did the doctor. Brandau will latch on to a loose pass. He has Jimenez on for it.
Oh! Joaquin Jimenez finishes nicely with a toe poke. 2-0 Pasco Vale. Adam, is he upset on the cards?
Goal scorer for Pasco Vale, number 3, Joaquin Jimenez.
Well, it's the perfect start for the mighty Lions. Jimenez had all to do, considering Brandau found him centrally. And the Lions, gents, have 2 to their advantage.
Terrific finish from Jimenez, but great hold-up play by Brandau and good intelligence just to bring him into it, to get him in and give him that one-on-one with Apostolakis, which he takes so superbly. So the new signings having an instant impact.
That was well played by that young player that just came on, Ethan. He delayed it, and then he gave it into the path of Joaquin Jimenez, and a great finish, toe poke. Great finish by Joaquin Jimenez.
The timing, as you mentioned, Stat, perfect. And speaking of timing, Bruno Pivato enters the court.
Know much about him, Adam?
Can't say I do, Stat, but it's time to learn about him. And he's on court, and by judging from, he stands out with his curly long hair, which we think's a trademark, and we love it. And we're enjoying already off the ball what he's just doing for Pasco Vale. Newen, Pimenta, lovely setting challenge.
Gets in.
There he goes, Pivato with Swedan. Those 2 players know each other.
It's gone, it's gone. Pasco Vale come to play, Ethan. They've switched on from the start.
They certainly have. They're using that counter-attack against Moreland really well. They draw them in and are waiting on that loose pass, but just on Pivato.
Again, he's got
Cooper's
it.
pedestrian,
Jimenez.
and Jimenez latches on. He flicks.
Nice. Oh!
Moreland not sure where they are right now, Stat.
They're in disarray. That's where they are.
Cooper again, pedestrian pass.
Oh.
It hits Apostolakis right in the nose. And right now, Pasco Vale have the league leaders wobbling against the ropes.
On the ropes.
Although Apostolakis made the save, it hit him flush on the nose, and it had power from Newen from close range.
That's unlike Adam Cooper just turning the ball over.
He behaved with a smile on his face, considering the absurdity maybe of that he might have to come on. He's almost trying to dismiss the fact that, well, there's a big game here, and he might be called upon. Apostolakis will wear it on the chin. He's clutching at his eyes, the goalkeeper. Keep an eye on him. But keeping an eye on this game right now is everybody here.
Concerns for Milton Sakos. What would you do if you're Milton Sakos now, Ethan?
Do not ask me that. Ethan, take the floor.
In a big game, in a moment like this, if they concede a third, go a timeout.
Pimenta.
Do you go, if you concede another, you go 5th man early?
Not yet. I wouldn't say so yet. I think let it play out as it is. Moreland haven't quite hit top gear yet. Give your starters the opportunity to do that.
Let's think back to when Moreland faced Fitzroy. They left it practically the last 16 minutes of play in that second half to turn it around. We might be seeing something similar here tonight. Postelakis was uncertain. Batagos.
Oh, he does
called
well.
upon. Pivato gets it back.
To Nguyen.
Has a nice touch. Couldn't fire. Batagos got back in time.
Moreland are rattled.
Brandao. Jimenez. Abdallah. Off the ball. The Mad Cat looking sore.
Hopefully it's not that quad. He's had a few issues with that quad.
He was clutching at his quad there, gents. And he's gingerly walking
He's
off.
coming off. Jarvis Gin's getting ready to warm up. Jarvis Gin.
Now on your thoughts with the Mad Cat. He's been firmly up against it for some time now with his body. It's been a tedious climb really to get it in check. And he just takes to the bench, being consoled by Aidan Chachi. Our thoughts firmly with the Mad Cat. Jarvis Gin, quick to get himself in this one. He's not on yet. He's clutching at his bag, and I'm not sure. In fact, he was expecting to have some minutes tonight, considering he played in the final of state championships. Albion Chachi with a nod of his head. And well, by the body language, gents, bit of a somber tone just being thrown upon this one. Hasan Abdallah struggling. We really have our thoughts with the Mad Cat.
Christos Apostolakis just going over to ask Michael Ciaris what Moreland are having to wait for. And it looks like for Jarvis Gin to get himself ready and get himself instated as
it's basically a timeout right now, gents, and it's really set the tone that, unfortunately, from a Pasco Vale perspective, Moreland looking to capitalise upon
Adam,
a chink in their opponent's armour.
This has come at the right time for Moreland, this little break, because the momentum was all with Pasco Vale, so they're probably going to regroup and come out firing the other Moreland Blues. They have to. Hopefully Hasan Abdallah's all right.
And just on the flip side of that, if you're Maurizio Novak right now, that comes at the worst time, because you have the 2 early goals. Michael Nguyen's had a couple of looks. You've got to go again. You can't all of a sudden fall out of this start, which Pasco Vale did against Fitzroy earlier this season. It's a similar kind of moment where the game is ground to a standstill. It'll be about who responds the quickest.
Must be said though, gents, the goalkeeping ranks at Pasco Vale are competitive. And for Jarvis Gin right now, a major task.
Huge.
He somewhat brunts all the responsibility kept with both Fitzroy and Pasco Vale currently in terms of whether this season is all said and done. Pasco Vale have a 2-goal lead. They've got their New South Wales players on court. Pivato. Which way does the tone sway towards now? Jimenez went central. Pimenta. Rahan Ali. Behind the ball quickly are the Lions. Cooper wandering centrally. Pimenta was behind him. Kept it in play. Batagos, lateral option utilised. Back towards Cooper. Finds Rahan Ali. It's come a long way. Cooper. Apostolakis. Seems to have recovered from that real obstruction.
He caught the Falcon.
It was, you could hear the thud over here amidst all the noise. Cooper letting his presence be felt on Pivato. Rahan Ali finds Cooper.
Hit it!
First time wasn't the option from Cooper. He kept going. It bounces off the crossbar as it floats up and over.
Adam Cooper should have taken that first time. It
Yeah,
opened up for him to hit it.
It was open, he was open. He should have hit it, Adam Cooper.
And by not doing that, it allows Michael Nguyen to come across and just put him off balance enough.
Pivato asked a lot of Brandao. Postelakis wants a squeeze. The balloon that was there with the Lions might have just had a little hole poked in it since Abdallah went out injured. Pimenta in a fine space, ball rolls out of play.
Moreland's problem at the moment now is that early wave that they've had is, it's not quite crested just yet, but they haven't capitalised.
Oh, Nguyen. Good attempt there by that from that angle.
It's almost FIFA Street the way Nguyen kept the ball in and struck towards goal. Pimenta. Reza Rahan Ali. Badagos lurking at the back stick. Cooper. Pimenta. Deflects off of Brandao, who gives a real hoof as the ball ricochets off of him.
They fitted in nicely, the two New South Wales boys. Seems like they've played quite a bit of futsal.
Pimenta got busy, went central. Jin with his first interaction was a good one.
A very important save from Jarvis Jin. Not just in the way that it was a good hit down low, but that will give him all the confidence to make a very good save like that down low. And it will also let Moreland know that just because Abdallah's off, the keeping stocks haven't dropped.
That's exactly right, Ethan. It's a good save there by Jarvis Jin. His confidence will be up now. And he's probably telling him, I'm going to be hard to beat too.
Cooper. Lots of bodies behind the ball for Pasco Vale to really make Moreland work. Rahan Ali, Pimenta, trying to decipher this defensive display from the Lions.
They weren't on the same page there, Pimenta and Adam Cooper. They've just turned the ball over and back into Pasco Vale's position now.
Also really good on the press from Pivato as well. He just forced Pimenta to play that ball earlier than he would have wanted, and by doing so, meant that him and Adam Cooper weren't able to sync up. So a good press from Pasco Vale's number 11.
Evangelista. Cardo, first time ball's a nice one for Pivato. Stepping inside,
well, Pivato.
Shot there from Evangelista.
Pivato's doing well.
He looks lively, doesn't he, Stat? He looks like he wants to just get at Moreland.
I'll tell you something, Adam, the well-oiled machine is not well-oiled tonight. They're rusty. Their passes have been astray. They're not the Moreland that we know.
Still a lot of futsal in this game. And the Blues have been on a mission this season. As Ali, Cardo.
Electrifying Kev's on.
I actually like this setup from Pasco Vale, going with Pivato, going with Evangelista and Lamb on the flanks though, giving pace around Pivato and Caro centrally, just gives them those options and allows them to play those balls first time.
Cooper. Rahan Ali got his shot away, stings the palm of Jarvis Jin at the expense of a Moreland corner.
I'd rather prefer Michael Newell instead of Andre at the moment. I reckon that's a better mix. No disrespect to Andre, but that would be a better mix for me. I reckon they can probably get the third.
Of course, Michael Newell on a yellow card.
That's why he's probably taking a bit of a break just in case he gets a second yellow, and then he lets Moreland back in the game.
Another corner for the current league leaders. Swedan. Pimenta.
Big strike there, Pimenta. Good effort.
You simply don't know with Enrique Pimenta when he strikes it with such venom. And the form he's in, you anticipate it's going to be an effort on target. Carlton in the building, so a Hume. Major 3 points on offer for FC Carlton Hart.
Can they get off the bottom?
They're running out of chances, Stat. Pimenta for Ali. Gets it through the gates of Evangelista. Cooper for Swedan. Still going with Ahmed Swedan, and I can't seem to disagree there, Stat.
Adams found himself a couple of times open. He should have just pulled the trigger. He's got a lethal shot. He should pull the trigger.
One good thing for Moreland, though, at the moment now, is that Rahan Ali and Enrique Pimenta are growing their influence.
Pivato for Kevin Lamb!
There it is again! Electrifying Kev! Every time he comes on, there seems something to happen out there.
Goal scorer for Pasco Vale, number 19, Kevin Lamb.
A smash and grab from the Lions on the counter, and they've put 3 past the Blues.
That is the best way to
Fitzroy have a pulse.
So do Pasco Vale, though, Stat. They're on equal points.
Timeout's going to be called by Milton Sakos. He's feeling the heat.
He certainly is. On a cold night, Pasco Vale are white hot.
The players all just somberly walk towards their respective benches. Moreland, this is familiar territory for them, considering they have been down by a 3-goal deficit before. It was against Fitzroy. It's for them to try emulate again. Pasco Vale executing the game plan to precision currently. They lead by 3-0 as we cross to our first Timeout break.
If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
We return from timeout. Different conversations on different benches. 3-0 currently. Pasco Vale. Statman, your analysis on Moreland so far?
Look, I think they're playing like they're under pressure. They just should play their fluent game. They're a great team. They move the ball around. They're patient. They're just not doing that. They're forcing it.
Norbury on court. Cooper and Swedan.
Came down from 3-0 against Fitzroy.
It can happen again, like the Chief said. But it's a mountain to climb this. Against this Pasco Vale side, on fire at the moment.
This is easily the calmest that Pasco Vale have looked against Moreland this season as well. I feel like the first two games, they've been guilty of trying to hit them too hard, too early. This time, it's almost like they've looked to be calmer, and that's working out that way.
Well, the two New South Wales boys have fitted in nicely. They've been great additions to the Pasco Vale club. You've got to hand it to Adam Casey and Albion Chad. Great recruitment, and Mauricio Novak.
And this must be stated without even question. It has been the best passage of Pasco Vale futsal I've seen so far this season. That's not a crazy assumption to make, but they have been very, very good so far.
Oh, look, the last 5 weeks they've been very good. They haven't lost a game, so telling you where they're at. They're really getting it together, the Carchi boys and Pasco Vale.
They've been clean and they've been tidy as well. It's only their second foul.
Something they have struggled with this season, of course, as well. There's a few, let's say, red mist characters at Pasco Vale. We saw it come out one night where 3 players have been sent their marching orders.
Michael Nguyen seems to be off for a while now. Do you put him back on, Adam, or do you hold off a little bit until half-time? What would you do? Because Michael Nguyen's a big part of the structure.
Don't know right now, Stat, to be frankly honest with you. The status quo seems to be working for them.
Because I'll tell you right now, sorry to interrupt you, Ethan, if they get one more, I reckon it's almost game over. 4-0, it's going to be a mountain to climb, gentlemen.
Big call.
Big call.
Look, I think if you're Pasco Vale, you keep it right now. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
And you wonder the inclusion of Michael Nguyen.
Oh, that's lovely by
smashing ball. Off the line by Norbury. Brilliant defending from the number 7 for Moreland. How close were the lines there for 4? It was a smashing ball to find Evangelista.
But what about Norbury getting back and saving the day? That could be a match-saving goal.
We talk about titles being won by the finest of margins. James Norbury might have just had his John Stones moment.
You think about the great times in football where that's happened. And Ethan, on the money. It was inch perfect from Norbury. They rekindle on the line. Evangelista went the cheeky chip. That would have been some statement finish against the Apostolakis with the form he's been in this season. Pasco Vale have not blinked incorrectly yet. Norbury at the other end. Bullied off it by Andre Caro, who clears out a play.
It's two teams in two completely different headspaces right now. Pasco Vale are playing with freedom. You see it. Evangelista's trying to chip Apostolakis. A month ago, you wouldn't have considered that when these two met. Moreland are feeling it.
They're playing with class, aren't they, Pasco Vale?
It has been the Lions.
What about the lovely flick there by Kevin Lamb? Jesus, he's electrifying when he's out there, young Kevin. Nguyen's
back on. He's confronted by Norbury. Evangelista, bit of a late lunge from Pimenta.
Novak must have heard him. Because I think one more will absolutely break their backs.
Statman really showing us all the excitement had from a neutral perspective in this one.
No, yous have too, mate. Yous have been amazing in the commentary box.
He's had a lot of love so far for everybody, but especially for Kevin Lamb.
He
Meanwhile,
does
Swedan
well.
gets around him. Pimenta, they'll claim a handball. Jarvis Jim will scramble upon the back heel. Evangelista really enjoyed his game so far tonight. Nguyen flicking on. Carter trying that deft touch to unlock the door for Evangelista. Cooper. Swedan can find space. Carter out of play.
Caro's playing like 10 men out there. He's getting in, doing the tackles, blocking shots. The Andre Caro of old's coming back. Not that it had gone.
Just the night you want to do it as well against your former club. He's been a man. We talked about Pasco Vale playing with class. He's epitomised it so far. He's had that grit that they've had, but you see it there with that flick down the line. Okay, it didn't come off, but he's willing to try and be adventurous.
Pimenta. James Norbury. Thought about striking on his left, went underground.
Caro with
flicking
another
on.
flick, but see, cannot
Couldn't
pay
do
off.
so. Jarvis Jin comes
could
a
cost
long
them.
way. It nearly did cost them stat, but Norbury couldn't connect properly.
Very good goalkeeping from Jarvis Jin. That might be a controversial take, but I think he has to come off his line to make that cutout, and it forces Norbury then to take that shot on when he's not quite ready to catch it.
Long ball poised for Nguyen and Cooper. Individual battle. Norbury, pedestrian. Jimenez. Evangelista.
He's going to hit it with the left. Ooh. Good attempt there by Felipe. It was worth a try. He was open. He went for it. Didn't miss by much at him.
Wasn't far away. He was isolated. Evangelista. He's got the confidence right now. Cooper. Driving.
Jeez. Pasco Vale bodies flying everywhere.
Nguyen hit the canvas very hardly. Trying to defend from Cooper.
Pivato went with him as well. So you see the two new additions that they've brought in. First of all, they've brought into the culture that Pasco Vale have built, but they know how much this game means.
Pivato. Jarvis Jin called upon. Takes a touch forward.
Oh no.
Maybe one too many, Jarvis Jin. Got a bit ambitious, did the goalkeeper.
That's the problem with Jarvis Jin sometimes. You just give it to a player, your closest player. Don't try to take on players. You almost turned it over there and almost cost them a goal and probably would have got Moreland back in the game. You just got to be safe.
Pivato.
Lovely
Searching ball for
ball.
Michael Nguyen. He wanted the
Oh.
cut back for Jimenez. It was a fantastic cutting ball from the Pasco Vale number 11.
Great ball from Pivato. Nguyen should have had a go.
Yeah.
He should have had a go. He should have drilled it low and hard to Apostolakis' right, because then if he even gets a touch, Jimenez is coming in to tap it in.
Yeah, but I think Jimenez went too quick on his run. He just should have waited a bit until Michael got the ball.
Absolutely. Absolutely right.
Because then the ball was played behind him, Ethan.
And considering it was out of volley, would have had some venom. Nguyen. Kevin Lamb. Pimenta heavy press. Nguyen evades it nicely. Kevin Lamb out of real estate. Back post running. There might have been Pivato.
Pivato, see?
It's really menacing, isn't it?
I've been happy with him. I reckon he's fitted in well. He's a hard worker. He's creative. Geez, poor passes by Moreland today. Swedan, that was a poor pass. He's just turning the ball straight back to Pasco Vale's position.
I think the reason that they've been called into so many of those balls, though, Moreland, is because Pasco Vale's defensive shape has been so compact. They've gone man-to-man instead of a zone, which means that Moreland do not have a free player when they're out of possession.
Nguyen had to hack it away. Brandau will chase. Apostolakis for Cooper. Trying to step around Pivato. Cooper driving. Jarvis Jin saving. Nguyen has it rolled
Pivato,
towards him.
Pivato.
Took his time to Jarvis Jin. Brandau got too creative. Swedan. Nguyen has to tread water carefully. Cooper. Pimenta, lovely ball for Norbury. Off the volley. That's more like the Blues.
Better build up. I think Pasco Vale got to call a timeout at him because Moreland are starting to get back in the game.
Cooper from the corner, that was taken quickly. Got his shot away, Cooper. Just rolls wide and out of play. Jarvis Jin's had a couple of tests so far, Ethan, but he's passed them all just for now.
He's passed them all with relatively flying colours as well. That Norbury hit was a slightly easier sighted than the one he had before, but they were two really important saves, and he's taking no chances as well by tipping them away for a corner instead of back into play. So it is still relatively smart keeping.
Cooper. James Norbury. Getting across was Brandau. Norbury apologising to his teammate.
Also really enjoyed what Brandau has brought so far. He's been a menace when he's been tasked to be that target and that pivot, but defensively, you can see it. It's similar to Pivato. They're both so quick to be on the press and they can go to more than one man.
Cooper dispossessed and now Pivato has options. Michael Newen is that option. He strikes. Shot palmed away by Apostolakis. Norbury can't escape. Newen a little bit late there, maybe, Stat.
Yeah, a little bit late by Michael Newen. He's got to be careful, Adam, because he's on a yellow and doesn't want to get a second yellow, and then he's gone for the game.
And how that would derail Pasco Vale's momentum. Pimenta.
Jarvis Gin's been solid the last few saves. He's pulled off some good saves.
Especially there, though, considering, gents, that the ball was dipping. Gin had to really judge the direction of the ball and did so well. That
was the pick of the bunch from Jarvis Gin. Terrific save to readjust and get down low.
Cooper fizzing in.
Again!
And there it is for Moreland.
Ahmed Swadan.
Goal scorer for Moreland, number 63, Ahmed Swadan.
On the cusp of half-time, Pimenta's shot was blocked. Swadan's follow-up could not be saved. The Blues have kick-started their hearts for a comeback.
Unlucky for Jarvis Gin. Makes a brilliant save.
What an entertaining half, gentlemen.
It's not over yet, Stat. We've still got some time left in it.
Well, they call it timeout.
Minute 30, or just under that left in this opening half. 3-1 the score. The Blues on the board for the first time. Ahmed Swadan, the goal scorer.
The key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard and maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Moreland get their goal they so desperately needed. Haven't seen the Blues in their flying colours yet, although that being said, they still have been able to manufacture one back on the scoreboard.
That last minute or so in particular has been Moreland's best futsal tonight so far, and it's what we've seen from them for most of this season, and they get the goal back as a result.
Jarvis, Jimenez out of play there, just allows for Moreland to reset. Swadan. Stat, if the Blues can score on the cusp of half-time, how that would change the team talks from both benches.
Definitely, Adam. But we keep calling them the Moreland Blues, but they haven't worn the navy strip for a long time. It's always the black and white. They've got the black on tonight, and they've got the white. So I don't know what's happened to the navy strip. Just cheerio to Darren Saban. You are the Moreland Blues. Are we going to see that navy strip come out again?
Brandau will control with such flair. Apostolakis will be assertive and reinstate possession. Norbury. Swadan. Central. Cooper. Timer factor now in this opening half. Pivato and Jimenez block. Had an option. Did Jimenez opted not to use it? And he's done really well there, hasn't he? Although the pass from Pivato just letting down Pasco Vale at the death.
Both of them had Brandau as the option ball. They actually got themselves into trouble, then worked themselves out of it wonderfully, and then when Pivato picks it up, that's the time that Brandau should drop in and he should play him, because then it gets him up the court.
To Santos. No, that's Pimenta. That was going to happen at some stage.
I was waiting for that.
Swadan. Stepping inside.
Oh, lovely cutback there.
Norbury now. Pimenta just could not get his feet perfect.
Jen, since James Norbury has entered the fray, he's made a difference to this Moreland side. They seem to be playing better with him out on the court. He's really doing well, James Norbury. I thought he should have been on earlier. What do you think, Adam?
No, he's certainly been impressive, Norbury. He has set the tone. He's helped Moreland. Not much arguing with that. As the half-time whistle sounds, Pasco Vale nearly had 4 goals on the board. They have 3 instead, Moreland with the 1. That's the state of affairs as we cross to half-time for your match of the round.
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding around in a Benzo. Red I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now. I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like your way.
5 seconds left. They simply had to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds. And look what it means to everybody here. It is absolutely stupid from Adam Cooper with the last kick of the game to equalise for the Moreland Blues, and he's kept them perfect in season 1 of 2025. Right a headline like this, you simply cannot.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player, because in futsal play is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally, futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy. If they don't enjoy the game, they don't improve. No, they know that. We know as coaches that every day is good for improving your level, so you have to work hard every day. It's detail. It's important for improve your career. The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard. And maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Give him a snake.
The referee's got it.
Robson D'Souza will roll the ball to start the second half. Moreland with a 2-goal deficit to chase to keep their perfect record intact in the first season of the calendar year. Statman, Ethan Rigg, Adam Palombi to take you through the second half. Gents, the tone being set early by Evangelista with a no-nonsense clearance.
It's more of the same from Pasco Vale, I think, is what they need. They were excellent in that first half. They've got to keep the same intensity, and if Felipe Evangelista is leading that, it looks like we might be in for another belter.
Pimenta strolling through was Henrique. Cooper was advancing. Pasco Vale really trying to hold their shape as they did in the first half, which, Statman, they were very impressive within.
Look, Adam, I reckon the referee, we haven't mentioned them, but they've gone unnoticed. And when the referee's going unnoticed, they're having a very good game. Is that a fair call, you reckon, Ethan?
Best call we've had tonight, I reckon.
Very fair
if
call.
I can interject. On the money, Statman Theo. Evangelista for Kevin Lamb. He's got the tip.
Electrifying Kev. They should have this line up for the next few minutes because I reckon they might get another goal, Pasco Vale, with Andre Caro, Michael Nguyen, Felipe Evangelista and Kevin Lamb. It's electrifying.
They weren't far away there. It was the woodwork that would deny Kevin Lamb. They've had a couple of those moments now. Have Pasco Vale sliding doors moments. They could be, Ethan, considering so close yet so far from another goal.
They've been unlucky, haven't they? Kevin Lamb in particular. Michael Nguyen had one in the first half too, where Pasco Vale, for them, it's not necessarily the bad finish that's taking it out. It's just
this is great play.
Lamb had options. He gets it back.
Ooh.
On the line to block was Cooper. Apostolakis scrambling.
They're all over them early on.
And look at Milton Sakos right now in comparison to Maurizio Novak. The body language is completely different.
Maurizio Novak doing his best Marcelo Bielsa impression. And why wouldn't he? Pasco Vale have started in red hot.
Bang!
Lamb was there to hit it. Evangelista, it fell towards him. Still there for Pasco Vale. Carter. Lamb stepping inside. Ball's going to bounce his way. Nguyen. Options around him are queuing up. Takes the more calculated one, and now Carter. Look at Milton Sakos. Has the real Sam Allardyce trench coat on him tonight. Swedan cuts it off. Strolling forward, the smooth operator. Ciaris's call. Moreland won a yellow card.
Not sure what's going on.
So they want a yellow card for Felipe Evangelista for kicking the ball away after the whistle.
Yeah, but that has happened quite a few times in the other game too, and they weren't giving yellow cards. So they've got to be consistent. If they're not going to give it for the other games, they've got to not give it for this game. Because to the letter of the law, that is a yellow card.
Swedan and Cooper behind the free kick. Similar territory. Cooper lets it roll. In fact, it's Swedan who rolls it for Cooper.
Oh, didn't miss by much.
Perhaps a player for the Blues just should have been at the back post, says Peter Parthamos. They work the routine nicely. No cigar.
This is dangerous.
Apostolakis comes a long way. Pimenta
just clears it out.
Busy. Ethan Stone blinked. Our production staff with a laugh. Meanwhile, on court, Lamb, lovely ball for Nguyen. No one there with him, though. Nguyen back to Kevin Lamb. Andre Caro strikes in towards Robson D'Souza, who had to block. And the way it is right now for Pasco Vale, you'd think they were trailing. Kevin Lamb going solo, got around Swedan.
He's been distracted there, don't you think, Adam?
So I don't know what happened there, Stat. Might have lost his footing. Did electrifying Kevin Lamb.
Swedan certainly made contact. It may not have been enough for it to be a foul, but Swedan certainly slowed him up smartly.
Here is Ahmed Swedan. Not around Evangelista. He's had a solid game so far. Pimenta, Apostolakis had to scramble. D'Souza. Enrique Pimenta just calmed things down right now. Gents, a point I might make here. Without Dos Santos and the leadership abilities he provides, of course, a lot of
he's a big
leaders
loss.
on court, but
I know it's not. I know it's a team game, Adam, but he's a big loss, Kevin Dos Santos. His running capability is such a great player. They have missed him. Of course they have.
He's the conductor of this team, isn't he?
The orchestrator.
Absolutely, Kevin Dos Santos. He's been one of the big misses because when he's on court, he's happy to sit deeper, and it frees up Pimenta and Cooper, who tonight...
Evangelista took his shot on. Sorry there, Ethan. Hear your point about KDS being missing. But Apostolakis has had a lot to do, gents, tonight. The ball's been going towards him in the air. He's almost like...
He's vulnerable.
It's almost like a fullback.
I reckon Jarvis Jin should be doing those long balls more often because Christos Apostolakis in the air is vulnerable.
Certainly with Michael Newen further forward, it should be something that Pasco Vale are looking to target, get Lamb and Evangelista off him.
Brandau and Newen in that position. They have the height advantage. D'Souza off the ball with Pivato. Two players, of course, no love lusts.
They probably know each other. They're two New South Wales boys, Robson and Pivato.
You can see them really having quite the conversation off the ball.
Do you reckon they're exchanging phone numbers, Adam?
Oh, I'm sure they've got notes on each other, not just their phone numbers.
There's a bit of niggle going behind play.
And here is Robson D'Souza. Got a nutmeg off his direct opponent. They ran out of real estate in the end. Keeping an eye on that individual battle. Carter. Long ball for Newen. Just reaching was Michael Newen to head away.
Once again, not a bad idea from Pasco Vale to go direct, though. They can see it's where Michael Newen at the moment in particular is operating at his best. Given the fact he's still on a yellow and has been since early, it keeps him out of trouble, but it also keeps Moreland further back down the court for longer. And with a 2-goal lead at the moment, time is Moreland's enemy. It's Pasco Vale's friend.
Evangelista. Back towards Caro. Pivato. Caro. Newen. Pivato. Pasco Vale just
all the way back to Jarvis Jin.
Trying to keep themselves in possession. Down goes Swedan. Listen to the uproar here.
Could that be close to a yellow card, Anna?
Heavy protests from the Lions.
And they might have a point, you know.
I thought it was a foul, Ethan.
They may have a point. Pivato gets himself. Ahmed Swedan is the one pulling his shirt. So Swedan can't get the ball off him. Pivato shields it, and doing so, Swedan loses his footing by trying to pull him to the floor.
Okay.
Debate how you might, but what is irrefutable is a free kick opportunity for Adam Cooper, who's conversing with Mazen Abdallah. As Cooper rolls it for Robson D'Souza. Big block from Brandau will prevent any further damage for the meantime.
I think Maria Sanavak's managing the game well tonight. He's got both New South Wales boys on at the same time, which is good because they know each other's game.
And they're strolling forward here. Brandau can't escape.
Wow.
He goes down off the ball. D'Souza getting a little bit involved in this one.
Adam Ethan is getting heated out there.
Tensions are starting to rise on court.
But it's worth noting the team losing their cool at the moment are Moreland. It's not Pasco Vale. The Blues there, you saw it. It didn't come off for them. Pasco Vale on the break. Bundled Newen over, and then Brandau beat his way beyond 2, and they couldn't get it off him, so they slowed him and fouled him.
Well, Ethan, they have to win tonight and win next week, and the title's gone. The title's theirs. But if they don't win tonight, you know, it's still alive. That's why the pressure's on Moreland tonight. How do you see it, Adam?
I see a Michael Newen free kick. One moment there, stat. Brandau had it bounce away. Pivato was there lurking. It's simply the ledger of this competition right now is in tonight's game. And Pasco Vale, it's do or don't. It's come down to this. With 7 odd weeks left in the season, gents, Pasco Vale trying to keep things all but conclusive.
Adam, where'd you get 7 weeks?
They're doing a good job.
It's less than 7 weeks. Less than 7 weeks to go.
How many weeks?
It's only about, some clubs have got 4, some clubs have got 3.
Right. Yes, I'm not sure where we've got that from. Sorry there, Stat.
And with Pasco Vale, if they win tonight, they're still in the, mathematically, they can still win it. I don't know if you know, gentlemen.
We've been talking about it in the build-up to this one, and that's why there's so much emphasis on what they do in this game. As Pivato hits Rahan Ali. It's just come to a bit of a somber mood right now, considering it was starting to amp up. It's now getting a little bit quiet on court.
And understanding how important this night is to their season, I think it's a smart move from Maurizio Novak to get Brandao and Pivato out on court at the same time, but the players he's put them around.
He's vulnerable again, Christos. Oh, they should be going the long ball a lot more because Christos is very vulnerable in that ball. He just wants to tap it out. He doesn't want to catch it. He's scared to catch it. Keep doing it.
There was certainly imposing himself upon the Moreland goalkeeper, and once it fell towards Pivato, the post the obstruction. Pasco Vale trying to reinstate a 3-goal lead. The Blues have to bite down on the gum shield and get busy. Pimenta goes down. Play resumes. Jim with a lovely throw. It was there for Pivato. The ball just skidding away from the New South Waleser.
Not a bad idea at all from Jarvis Gin, considering how long and how often they've been going long, going short and trying to fizz it into the feet of him, because they were on the break and he had Brandao at the back post. It's a good mix-up.
There's still so much futsal left in this second half. We're only a fourth of the way through it. Cooper had Caro. No longer teammates, and Andre knew the movements of his former partner. Cooper, Rahan Ali in the way. So it just will work for Pimenta, who took it on from downtown. Pivato pressing heavy. Apostolakis. Swedan. Cooper, lovely ball from Swedan. Cardle concedes a corner, not what the doctor wanted.
It's not bad from Andre Caro, though. He has to be there to make that challenge. I know he wanted to see it out. It isn't the type of touch he needed.
Cooper's roll. Swedan. Which way is Ahmed going to go? Jin with a nice block amidst all the bodies in his way. Time just stands still when Ahmed Swedan's in a position.
He's very tricky, isn't he?
So tricky.
Well, he had traffic around him to get a shot on and pull out save with Jin. He's a quality player.
No one knows which way
he's going to go. Quality.
Pivato. Cooper had to plant his feet and clear. Brandao, very unfortunate. The ball just rolled away from him. Lucky for the Blues.
The good thing that Pasco Vale are doing for them at the moment, they're making this game cagey and they're making it stop-starty. Moreland haven't really, since the opening 5 minutes, been able to find much of a rhythm.
They can't get into the groove, can they, Ethan?
They really can't, and it's because of the defensive shape, and it's the long balls as well that are so disruptive.
They're causing Christos a lot of problems along the ball.
Swedan. Pimenta. Rahan Ali. Back towards Cooper. They can't seem to pull the trigger here. The Blues, it came in for Swedan.
You read that
on
well.
The counter
you
now.
Read that well,
Newen
Brandano.
has to lunge to get there. He does get there, Newen. Caro hesitated at the back post, maybe.
Brandano is very good.
And Pasco Vale were nearly good there for their fourth.
Caro's got a gamble. Michael Newen does well to get there. He doesn't give up on it, but he does the right thing in not making the challenge.
Cooper and Newen come together. Swedan now. Not past Brandao, who's quick to get back up on his feet and plant the challenge.
The intensity is really up now.
Swedan for Rahan Ali. Jin closes the door. And the ante in this one is just gradually building by the minute.
I think, Adam, they've got to get electrifying Kevin back on.
Cooper came short from the corner. I'll tell you what, though, gents, the next goal in this one, really important for both sides.
Especially Moreland, Adam.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with what Theo is saying. Kevin Lamb's pace at the moment could be what Pasco Vale need, because Moreland are getting further up court, they're getting more possession. It opens up for Pasco Vale on the break.
You can see Jimenez on the technical area with Kevin Lamb, almost ready to get involved again. Jimenez aching to get on. Cooper will take. Pimenta. Feinting left and right. Back towards Cooper.
Should strike it, go Adam!
That's exactly what he'd done there, Cooper. Swedan trying to latch on at the back post. That was the move for the Blues. They weren't far away from a finish.
I think he's got to get in Felipe Evangelista and Kevin Lane on very soon, Mauricio Navik. That's what I think.
Jin goes long. Brandao. Pivato. Jimenez gets a corner.
Good bit of relief for Pasco Vale because Moreland have been up in the ante in the last few minutes. They do need to try and inject some pace at the moment just to support Brandao and Newen, as well as Pivato. Jimenez a good defensive.
Swedan's unmarked at the back post. Wasn't found. Jin saying the ball just slipped away from him, hence the direction wasn't what he bargained for. Cooper's side ball, broadcast side. One quick thing though, gents, we haven't noticed. Moreland haven't really aggravated the man on a yellow card. That of Michael Newen.
Yeah, that's a good observation there, Adam. I agree with you. They should just give him a bit of niggle. Or get a second yellow, and he goes off for a few minutes, he's out of the game, and Moreland could get back in the game. That's a great observation, Adam.
Oh, Cooper started to. Michael not biting. Swedan, well defended by the Lions. Newen couldn't escape. Cooper back to Apostolakis, who's gone very long.
Foles Jarvis Jr. go long now. He does that too.
Exactly what he's done. Pimenta had to blink.
Brandao!
It's there for Newen!
Oh! Michael Newen!
Goal scorer for Pasco Vale, number 5, Michael Newen.
He's had
What
another
are we
amazing
witnessing
game,
here?
Michael Newen again. He's here right up there for MVP, gentlemen.
I was about to say, Newen and Pimenta tonight will have to showcase their most valuable. Michael Newen with a valuable goal for Pasco Vale. We talked about them trying to antagonise him. It seems to only have fired him up more.
Cooper from downtown will strike. I want to talk about Brandao so far in this game, gents. Off the ball, been superb. He was instrumental in that goal there for the Lions. He hasn't skipped a beat. And Moreland are chasing a 3-goal deficit again. There's still time, of course, in this game. You can never rule out the Blues.
Or should we say hasn't missed a beat, Brandao. He's been solid, Adam.
And he's there again, Stat to block. It's been such a quality performance from the Lions, but the Blues have it within their arsenal to match it. Pimenta has the fly kit on. Milton Sakos is not going to wait.
Has he gone early?
Frankly,
still plenty of time left in the game, gentlemen.
I'd like to know what everyone watching at home thinks, because I'm conflicted. Pimenta tested Jarvis Jin, who was uncertain but made the save. Corner Moreland.
Milton Sakos, of course, worth mentioning, Meg's Manager of the Month tonight, and these last 10 minutes will be a serious test of all of that tactical nous.
I don't know if you know, gentlemen, he's a 6-time premiership manager, Milton Sakos. So he's a great servant.
Of course, there's quite the pedigree as a coach, Milton Sakos. Lots of history
he's
with
done Nationals,
Moreland.
he's done AFC, he's a great manager, Milton Sakos. One of the best going round. But tonight he's under pressure, he's feeling the heat, Milton. What can he pull out of his hat? Has he got any tricks left? Or they're all done and dusted? Ethan?
I don't think he's done and dusted yet. They will not stop trying.
It extends on and off the court for Milton Sakos with his managerial prowess. Have to really reach in. Well, to the Brains Trust tonight. Pasco Vale really putting on a trademark vintage performance. Pimenta, they queued up. Rahan Ali might have been there. The pressure now, gents, is really going to settle
It's mounting
with the Lions. And there's 10 minutes.
Plenty of time if they're good enough.
Heaps of time.
I think this might be the time to get Kevin Lamb back on.
Pivato's gone long. Cooper heads away. Rahan Ali has 2 players to get around. Pivato.
Hey!
Rahan Ali and Brandao getting acquainted.
No, he just slung him to the ground there, Razor. I can't believe Michael Tiaris didn't see that.
Jimenez. Pivato. Measured. Jimenez. Pasco Vale itching to get some time off this clock. Nearly a heads-up Falcon for all 3 of us. Timeout's been called. Maurizio Novak strolls to his bench. He initiated it. 4-1 up Pasco Vale. They're leading more, and the last time they had defeated the Blues was 3 years ago. Timeout break.
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a Benzo. violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now. I used to crash
I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like your way.
5 seconds left. They simply have to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds. And look what it means to everybody here. It is absolutely stupid from Adam Cooper with the last kick of the game to equalise for the Moreland Blues, and he's kept them perfect in season 1 of 2025. Right a headline like this, you simply cannot. We return from a very brief timeout. Maurizio Novak not wanting to disrupt the flow completely, hence it's alive again, and Pimenta has that red fly kit remaining on. Aiden Chachi watching on. Pimenta off the turn. Swedan, big save. And now Jimenez at the other end.
Oh, how good was Jarvis Gin there? 2 important saves, double saves. They could be match-winning saves, Ethan.
Outrageous goalkeeping from Jarvis Gin. We mentioned he hasn't really missed a beat tonight. Those are 2 huge moments for Pasco Vale, who were caught out on the other side.
Considering he didn't start, Ethan, he would have been cold, and to come to the game, he's had a superb game, Jarvis Gin, so far. Hopefully it continues.
Think back to Lachlan Maliaros for Fitzroy in F League last year. Wasn't tipped to start. Aaron New got injured. It was against the Blues, and Lachie Maliaros really made a proper name for himself with quite the performance to win Fitzroy that competition that time around. Jarvis Gin having those heroics tonight as well.
He's fallen from grace, hasn't he, Lachlan Maliaros, from being the F League keeper.
Swedan. Lachie Maliaros trying to find his strides, although we're not worried about him entirely now as Cooper. Back towards Norbury. Swedan. Cooper. How about that
great block by Evangelista. They really want it, Pasco Vale. They want these 3 points.
Good change from Maurizio Novak in the timeout to bring Evangelista back on, and Andre Caro too. So he's just going for some brains, he's going for pace on either side, and he's just looking to shore it up a bit for about 5 minutes.
Sorry for interrupting you, Ethan, I think Kevin Lamb should come on very soon because he's been off for quite a few minutes.
I agree. I think they should give him that 5-minute burst to the end.
Swedan trying to find Cooper, and gents, dare I say, Statman, I reckon right now Maurizio Novak has a deck of cards. Kevin Lamb is the king in that deck of cards. Or the ace, whatever you might want to call it. Actually, it would be the ace. Up the manager's sleeve.
Do we see, in the last 5 minutes, him go with Newen, Lamb, Brandau and Pivato?
Yeah, I like that combination. What's he changed now?
I think the protests from Pimenta was the time taken for the ball to get back into play. And there's real conversations happening here.
You know, because he's wearing another number 12. He's wearing 12, and now he's come on with 17.
You can't do that.
No, they've got to cut out the top. Get the scissors cut.
That's
it out.
right.
Hey, you want to cut it out? You want to cut it out?
No, we can't cut it out. You can't cut it out either.
No, they can. They can.
No, I'm saying get rid of this clown because he's fucking come in trying to be a fucking hero again.
He should have done it from the start.
To cut it out. Oh, no, do you want to cut it out? Huh?
But he should have done it from the start, Peter. 100%.
There's a real protest right now from the Blues, and they've somewhat understood why.
I understand why. Kevin Lamb done the same thing with the fly keep.
So what's happened here is, right, Pimenta's gone for a stroll. He's not happy. There's been a calamity from the officials, unfortunately. Only reporting it for what it is. The number on the shirt has been a controversial topic here. Pimenta's incensed. So is Cooper, and so is Sakos. Drama being sprinkled on top of drama. Ethan? So if I got this right, is it because...
He's supposed to have the same number.
12.
Yes.
Yes, because he started the game number 12, but the kit is number 17.
Correct.
And if they can't have a number 12 fly kit, they need to cut out the back of it.
Correct.
So it still
But
matches
then
the same
it is
number.
a yellow card. But I remember Kevin Lamb a few weeks ago. He came on with a different number. They didn't do anything. So they're complaining about the consistency here. That's what it is. If you're going to do it, Michael Tiara should have done that from the start of the game. When as soon as Enrique should have said, no, you can't come on with that number. They should have picked it up.
Hang on, Enrique Pimenta is making his way out of the building.
I think he's going to cut this T-shirt. I think he's going to cut a goalkeeper kit so the number is exposed, hence it's still the same number he wore going into this game. But the protest is, Moreland have done this before, and they haven't been
Remember
penalised.
Kevin Lamb, he played with a different number, they allowed it?
Yes, that's the protest. That's the protest.
Ago, Kevin Lamb played with a different number.
You guys are live now, aren't you? Well,
Or they should have seen it from the start and said, hey, cut it out, don't come on.
well, he was spotted later, and that's why Michael picked it up and said that. But I understand it was done earlier, but they've also allowed cut tops, keeper tops for this season. So they can just cut out the top.
So their two main issues with it, from what we're picking up,
He's had a different number coming on.
is that he had a different number coming on, but also the issue from the Moreland side is that it wasn't picked up sooner, and they've played basically 5 or 10 minutes with it in play.
Correct. And Kevin Lamb didn't even cop a yellow card. He played a lot of the game last time. They didn't even get. You remember that game for Kevin Lamb?
Pimenta has been busy with the scissors.
No, I think they've got the two.
Or they've got the 2 for Cooper for the fly kit.
Pimenta's on a yellow.
Pimenta's on a yellow card. This is, well, uncharted territory, really.
So Pimenta's been booked.
And his last speaking to from as well by Ciaris. A dramatic turn of events has transpired at DCSS. The Moreland bench absolutely incensed. But if they are to propel this energy into the contest, how it might be the spark they needed to get themselves back up into this game. That could be the only way I could maybe see a positive from this bizarre situation.
It's a bizarre situation, like you said, Adam.
And well, we're going to cross back to a timeout issued by Milton Sakos. Ladies and gentlemen, Series Futsal Victoria. Timeout break.
That maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Amidst all the controversy, there's sides to every story. Moreland's really pleading their case, that of double standards. Plays resumed. Adam Cooper now the fly. Pimenta can't come on as that player. He's still on court though. Jimenez went around the traffic, never caught it properly. Norbury got back in time. And speaking of time, gents, just under 8 minutes left to play. The Blues are nearing, having to be perfect. Cardle hands it down. Evangelista trying to hurt someone on his own bench.
He absolutely lamped that towards Kevin Lamb. Felipe Evangelista, I think, just wanting a break in play. But Moreland, you sense they will use that moment as fuel. But you're right, Adam, time is against them now.
Not exactly yet, but they start, or they'll have to start rather, getting themselves in positions where they're scoring, not in goal scoring ones. They have to find something. Aiden Chachi with a nervous watch towards the time. Cooper. James Norbury. Swadan. Jimenez with a heavy press. Blues looking to really get themselves asserted into this one. They've got the territory. Rahan Ali was the option. Couldn't steer it. Jimenez. Cooper.
Hit it.
Told to shoot, urged to shoot. Had Swadan on for the pass. He went a fair way. Jimenez was lurking forward. Jarvis Gin, on the other hand, was trying to get his shot away. Aiden Chachi saying, you can't do that to Michael Ciaras.
There's certainly contact on Jarvis Gin, but from that initial Moreland play when it broke to Swadan, Newen did wonderfully well to hold him up.
Cooper. Norbury. Pimenta. Newen in the way. When does the straw off the camel's break potentially stat for Moreland?
Well, if Pasco Vale get the next goal, I think it's broken then. They'll really break their backs. But they're still in it now. And, a goal very soon. They're back in the ball game, Adam. But they have to get it within the next 2-3 minutes.
Swadan for Norbury. Rahan Ali. Pasco Vale defending for their lives. Norbury the deepest. Newen took charge. Albion Chachi with a nervous walk behind our technical area. Jimenez wants to buy some time off the clock. Trying to get it just in that corner nice and tucked, although Swadan and Norbury came together.
Still too early to be doing that. If you're Pasco Vale, Moreland are still on the charge. They will still go with the fifth. We're approaching the final 5 minutes. Is it time we see the reintroduction of somebody like Kevin Lamb for Pasco Vale, and for Moreland, maybe somebody like Robson D'Souza, if they're going to play fifth, to poach a goal at the back stick?
Norbury. Lovely ball for Rahan Ali.
Heavy touch there by Rahan. Heavy touch there. That's unlike Rahan Ali. Usually he's quite good on his feet.
Look who's on court stat.
There he is, electrifying.
Bevato and Lamb, the dual changes.
I'm telling you, I could have a crystal ball sometimes, you know.
Norbury for Pimenta. Cooper scans the space ahead of him. Rahan Ali, deflecting ball.
Ewing.
He had to clear stat. Maurizio Novak has been so animated on his touchline. Every emotion he's rid with his players tonight so far. Lamb now had a sight towards it. Pimenta jogging on the spot. And Newen's taken charge. They're just trying a lot now, the Blues. And in doing so, are leaving themselves a little bit open.
Can't count out Enrique Pimenta still either. He's currently the MVP for a reason.
I think Michael Newen will be closing the gap tonight, Ethan.
Here's Swadan charging. Newen to close out the game potentially. That's what Pasco Vale are trying so desperately to do. Moreland like to leave things late. Cooper. Swadan. Reverse pass for Pimenta.
Had Rahan Ali in the middle there.
Could have squared it.
Squared it up, that's correct, Ethan.
I think Milton Sakos' chance has gone man on man. One each. Norbury and Newen combining. Tussling almost the two. Intelligent from Newen. Has play remain with his side.
He did well there, Michael Newen. Norbury had a lot of him, and the one thing he's done very well, having been booked early, he's not bitten yet. He's kept his cool throughout.
Kevin Lamb. Newen for Kevin Lamb. This could be the moment. Apostolakis with a big save.
Electrifying Kevin running down the flanks.
That could have been the game there and there, gents. Apostolakis stands tall. Newen. Kevin Lamb trying to turn from Norbury. Pivato was the idea. Pimenta now. Can't just unlock the door for Razor.
He's frustrated with himself, Enrique Pimenta.
Oh, he's tried his heart out tonight, Enrique Pimenta.
He's still got time to change it as well. The time is now running out for Moreland.
Pivato had to go. Norbury controls. Back to Apostolakis. Swedan steps inside. Doesn't have support. Cooper's back on. 4 minutes for the side who are perfect so far to remain that way. They need 3 goals in that time.
There's plenty of time if they're good enough, Adam.
There's always plenty of time if they're good enough, but they might have to be great. It's no longer a fact
they
of being
have been
good.
great, and there's no reason why they can't do it. Razor.
Rahan Ali trying to get busy. Pasco Vale really just continuing in such fine defensive shape.
These final 4 minutes are what champions are made of.
You never write off champions. Oh, they're not the champion yet, but they've been champion team so far.
Swedan back towards Norbury. Razor. Norbury. Swedan back towards Norbury. They're just trying to find that moment to chisel open Pasco Vale, but in doing so, valuable seconds off the clock. Swedan.
They've defended well, the fifth man, Pasco Vale. Ethan?
They certainly have. I like the fact that they've gone very compact. They've allowed Moreland to play it down the flanks, but the important thing is there's no breach inside and there's no pocket for somebody to operate in.
Because that's why that has happened, because they haven't been so deep.
Rahan Ali getting things moving. Pimenta tried to unlock his teammate. Cardo, so brave, independent. Gets it away for the meantime. Cooper, they have to go down the Blues. Pimenta got busy. Lamb got in the way. Corner Moreland.
Great block from Kevin Lamb.
He's
and
pumped,
a
Kevin.
crucial moment.
I didn't catch his pump too.
A goal a minute to equalise. Swedan does it start now. The smooth operator.
Oh, he's a smooth operator.
Tried to be elusive. Jarvis Gin was spread out. He's been very good since coming on into this game.
They're going long throw again.
That's the idea.
It's worked out.
It's kissed the roof on its journey. In fact, it's kissed the basketball net railing. 2.5 left. Pasco Vale nearing one of the most significant wins in recent club history. Can Moreland somehow claw it back? It's getting messy inside the box. Very close with the Blues to clawing themselves with 1 goal back. Pimenta, Swedan, can he finish? He kept going. Lamb only as far as Newen. And he draws the foul.
I think Pasco Vale should be patient, a bit more patient. It just seems to be rushing a bit. What do you think, Adam?
2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Both sides with different interpretations of it. They want this game to end in a hurry. Moreland don't want it to. Cooper had to get inventive. Michael Newen can seal the deal.
Oh, James Norbury again. Amazing.
Unbelievable from Norbury.
But I think Michael Newen took his far too much time. Probably should have hit that a bit earlier.
Or after that touch, he should have gone high.
It's almost impossible now, but that surely kept that last percentage of it being a possibility intact. Incredible from Norbury. Newen, Cardo having to wheel to get there. He doesn't care to concede play. 1 minute and 45 seconds.
And counting. Is it almost over, gentlemen? Or is there another twist?
I think the scoreline makes it all but improbable for the Blues. They won't go down without
Jarvis
wondering.
Gin, well read by there by Jarvis Gin.
The Lions on the bench roaring. Hume and Carlton ready to lock horns. Norbury for Cooper. Finds Pimenta. Swedan. The last time Moreland had incurred defeat, dare I say, was at National Championships against Fitzroy in the semi-final.
It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a good 6 months since we've tasted defeat, the great club Moreland. And fortunately, they're going to taste defeat, it looks like it, but there's still plenty of time. They can still get 3 goals in the space of about a minute and a half. It
They
can
were
happen.
seconds away.
He's vulnerable, Christos, out there. Clubs will be watching this.
They were seconds away, gents, against Fitzroy when they clashed a few rounds ago. But Pasco Vale are a minute away from a famous win. Bodies coming together in the last knockings. Many talking points from this one, gents.
Pavato's recovery there has symbolised what Pasco Vale have been about tonight. Energy until the last. They've been absolutely superb. Moreland will keep knocking, but that may be that.
Jarvis Gin trying to tee off.
Really, just keep position, knock 30 seconds off the clock, the game's gone.
I think it already is, Stat, by the body
long we
language
got
of
to go?
everybody else.
Gents, how long to
40
go?
seconds. Or might be less than that, as in fact. For a consolation prize are the Blues. Their first loss of the season. Moments away from being sounded.
This would have been the first time in 10 attempts as well that Pasco Vale have beaten Moreland in all competitions.
Newen can close the show. He misses wide. I'm not sure many would have predicted this coming into tonight. The mighty Lions waiting for the clock to bleed out. And there it is for Pasco Vale. A monumental win in both their season and the complexion for Moreland's. Their first loss in 6 months in the hands of the Lions, who get revenge from the State League final loss. Unbelievable scene to have witnessed here. The full-time score, Pasco Vale 4, Moreland 1. Statman and Ethan, your immediate thoughts on what we've seen here?
My immediate thoughts right now, Adam, are Fitzroy have a pulse. They are still in the hunt to win.
Not just Fitzroy, Stat, you've got to remember they're the
Pasco
same
Vale.
points as Pasco
Pasco Vale, I
Vale.
know that, yes. Correct.
There is nothing like a title race whatsoever.
Ethan, you're going to get busy with post-match interviews to round out.
ผมเสียหลักในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding around in a benzo. Ready to in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive. But look at me now.
I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like your way.
5 seconds left. They simply had to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds. And look what it means to everybody here. It is absolutely stupid
Testing
from
1 2,
Adam
testing
Cooper
1 2.
with the last kick of the game to equalise for the Moreland Blues, and he's kept them perfect in season 1 of 2025. Right a headline like this, you simply cannot.
I'm here with Pasco Vale's Michael Newen. Michael, 3 defeats against Moreland this season, 1 at the last weekend in the state final. How does it feel to come back on court tonight and get a monumental win over them in terms of the title race?
Yeah, I mean, credit to them on Monday. They were unbelievable, but we took that pain and hurt, the build up during the week, and we knew that we'd be able to give them a shot at redemption this week, so we gave it to them.
The two guys down from New South Wales, of course, as well, Pivato and Brandau. What impact did they make to your side, not only tonight, but throughout the week as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen them play before, but today they were unbelievable for us, and I think they were the difference makers for us, for sure.
And finally, only 6 points behind now with a few left to play. Is the title charge on?
I would take it game by game. 2 games left for us, and we're just trying to win those 2 games, and whatever happens, happens.
Michael, thank you so much for your time.
Have a union group. You can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in other countries. I think there are good levels here in Australia. There are good players, so they have to work hard, and maybe in the future Australia is in the top.
Let's go.
I'm here with Moreland's Ahmed Swedan. Ahmed, obviously a really, really tough result for your side to take tonight. Where did it all go wrong?
I don't think it necessarily went wrong somewhere. I think they just came out of the blocks a lot quicker than us, and we sort of got caught by surprise defensively. And it was just a bit of sloppiness on our half to award them easy goals, and then from there 3-0 down, it was always going to be hard to get back into the game, but it's just part of futsal, isn't it?
Obviously no Kevin Dos Santos as well tonight, considering what happened to him at the state championships. Just how big a miss as a player but also as a leader was Kevin out there tonight with his absence?
Yeah, I think he makes a massive difference, both from a leadership perspective and defensively. At the same time, I think we need to sort of step up as a group and make sure that we lose one player. Every player needs to sort of support that and have their roles within the team to get us across the line.
And obviously the unbeaten season now is no longer on the cards. You did win the state championships. The league title is still very much in your hands with only a few games to go. How do you and the boys go about seeing it over the line?
Yeah, I think we just need to put this one behind us and come next week. Like I said, we just need to come into the game from the start strong, defensively especially, and then we have enough quality attack to get goals. So I think we just need to focus on that, and then one by one game at a time, we hopefully get over the line.
Ahmed, thank you so much.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไปข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
Wow, what a night of futsal we have had so far, and we are into the final edition. Implications at all ends of the table in every single match tonight, and this one is absolutely no different. Hume and Carlton Hart lock horns. Hart survival hopes, you get the feeling, do hinge on tonight, with Moreland up next week before their final meeting of the season with Aku. They must take something here and they must make their statement. For Hume, the playoffs were confirmed by last week's loss to Pasco Vale. The Black Army sit 5th, unable to climb higher, but they can still drop lower. Tonight is important to make sure that they don't do that and they continue their preparation for the playoffs to take on whoever the championship may throw at them. It's going to be a huge night. It's all on the line at the league's foot. Do Hart stay alive, or do Hume confirm their place as the best of the bottom three? Ethan Rigg and Adam Palombi to take you home on this one. And Adam, just quickly before we go to the teams, there's a couple of big names back for the Black Army.
Mo Temmel, so great to see him back on court. He's had his fair share of injury concerns, managing both indoor and outdoor endeavours. Yet to appear as the captain, but he was shaking hands with Shaban Rajab just before this one got kicked off. It's great to see him back on court. And his return, when it does happen, be worth noting. But Ethan, before we get into the team's lineups for tonight, I want to quickly recap what we've just seen there. Pasco Vale with one of their most impressive wins in recent memory. They have knocked off the Blues 4-1 in what was a flawless performance from the Lions, who haven't exactly ruled themselves out of any late title endeavours. That being said, Moreland with 2 games can still win it. Meanwhile, in this game here, Shaban Rajab with an early sight for goal. Kartambis with a double save. Ethan, to close out the show here, Hume, Carlton Hart, they need a win here. We said every week with Carlton, but this is the time they simply need to do it against quite the equipped Black Army.
They had a chance to take the lead. Kartambis, his first save, a good one. Cicek for Turkmen, who got around Rajab. DeWood in retreat, couldn't body him either. Turkmen's going beyond them all. Ichigi had to make the block. Klanaris tried to pick it back up. Tonight has pivotal importance, don't you worry about that. DeWood is looking to drive Hart forward again. A couple of late runners, Oliver Mew, one of them. Found Shaban Rajab, who his influence will be as important as ever. Something very interesting to note about this Carlton Hart team tonight. No Alex LaRocca. A bit of a loss for him, but here's Mew on the counter after Cicek's giveaway. Lofted it for a cheeky, and Kartambis had to make the save. Good early signs for Hart.
Cicek. Somehow we'll find Klanaris. Really loving the new Hume kits also. And a rejuvenated side this season. Kartambis had to stretch. It was the Mad Dog, Shaban Rajab, getting really active. And you can see, well, a triple change, quadruple change, Ethan, nearing to have impact on the court for Alan Kolak's side. Some very high-profile names amongst that mix. And you just wonder, if Hume-Hart to have this squad from the start of a season, how they might fare against their competition.
If Mo Temmel's back in the picture as well. Not just Dib, Haddad, Guerrero, Dustizada, Hamza Suede. We had the Chandab brothers back in action last week. Everybody returning to the Black Army, and Dib is on the march. Couldn't steer it inside of Duram's post.
Jamie Dib, of course, Futsal route. Keep an eye on him. It's rather impressive at Nationals for New South Wales. Plying his trade down here in Melbourne, as is Jordan Guerrero and Haddad. Alan Kolak really, well, having firm connections with some futsal roos amongst these ranks. As Guerrero resets, Mo Temmel back on court. Great to see him playing again. Dare I said last time we had seen him was F-League, or make that national championships with the Moreland Blues. Spent some time, but the captain back in living colour.
Coming back at the right time as well for the Black Army as they gear themselves up for the run in. Ichigi tried to dance his way through Guerrero and Haddad. 2 futsal roos able to bound their way out of trouble. Given away to DeWood. Temmel got a touch. Haddad couldn't pick Cicek nor Guerrero. Carlton Hart have made a rather positive start to tonight's game, considering in recent weeks the momentum that they had been building up had been dampened slightly. But tonight they are up against a Black Army side with majority of the cavalry arriving to reinforce the troops on the relegation front, as Haddad, Guerrero, Temel, lovely futsal from Hume, Dib for Guerrero, worked wonderfully for Haddad to drive, Rajab in the way, Haddad kept it alive, Temel, Dib, now Guerrero, sizes up Ollie Mew.
Alcociaris just seeing something. Ball might have gone out of play on the far side. Can't see it from here. So I make no assumptions. In fact, the ball never went out of play. There might have been something in the build-up that was foul. Dib had to launch. Shabana Rajab concedes play. Guerrero for Dib. Temel trying to get himself involved. Does so now, the captain. Guerrero. Haddad tried playing the block. Meanwhile, Carlton trying to find something from this attack. They had fall into the palm of their hands. Darwood in the mix. Just wasn't working that time around with, dare I say, Isaac LaRocca.
Could have played it along the floor to Dawood instead. Bit too tall for him. Might be Samuel Weatherspoon, in fact.
That seems about right, yeah.
Potts, number 17 tonight. They like to change the numbers around every now and again. Here is Dawood for Rajab. Oh. Oliver Mew. Couldn't get away from Guerrero. Took a touch off his shoulder despite protesting his innocence.
Not sure he realised, to be honest there, Ethan.
Didn't know a lot about it. Here's Dib. Guerrero. Back with Jamie Dib. Quick switch for Temel. Hustle by Dawood. Hume trying to calm down some early Carlton courage, and here's given away. Mew, and Weatherspoon had a golden chance if he got contact.
He realises that, doesn't he? Weatherspoon, he certainly had to launch at it. Meanwhile, Haddad got the turn away. He touches the ground, Ethan, before he has the ball rolled towards him. Don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. It's one way to ask for the ball.
There's always something peculiar, isn't there, that goes on.
Unique, definitely.
Every futsal player has their own routine.
Got to have something about you.
Well, it's resulted in a Hume corner.
Haddad has all the strength. And, well, we've seen him in bursts. Ethan, you've seen a lot more of him than I have. How would you evaluate Haddad so far in the SFE competition?
He's made a strong start to life at Hume. He's looked lively in the games he has. He brings them a big physical target presence. But for someone who has that robust side to their game, he's got a very gentle touch. And he's good at bringing players in around him.
Dawood trying to be creative at the near post. Got a Tumbis. That's a roll short for Dib. Guerrero has an acre of space to infiltrate. Temel stunted his run. Guerrero bounces off of Jaban Rajab. Dib shifting direction. Lovely ball from Guerrero. Mo Temel had the simple job at the back post, but the captain couldn't steer it home.
Should have scored Temel, and they might pay for it at the other end. Dawood with an opportunity sliding in. This game's starting to open up. Inviting ball from Medina to find Dawood at the back post. Both teams getting a life as Haddad is taking Hume forward. Weatherspoon on the recovery. Medina then rolled his way inside, tried to step over to get away from Temel. Rajab has got Weatherspoon at the back post, but it was behind him before he knew about it.
Dib has had a lot of delegating with the ball. Deep inside his defensive half. Guerrero. Temel. Guerrero trying to find Cicek. Not sure. In fact, Guerrero was too pleased with Cicek there. Bezadpour. Had to make his teammate work for it. Carlton trying to keep possession. They haven't had much of it so far. It's rekindled by Hume. Guerrero, lovely ball for the back post. Cicek sliding in. Carlton escaping somehow. Meanwhile, Dib gets it back. Ubidi Cicek for Dib. The opener for Hume.
Goal scorer for Hume. Number 24, Jamie Dib.
Had the deftest of touches in front of goal, Jamie Dib. Hume in front.
Lovely finish from Jamie Dib, and Cicek does well. Could have gone alone, but chose to square it to him. Smart from Hume's number 7, and the Black Army have taken one of the early opportunities that have presented themselves.
Carlton just struggling really to have possession. That, in fact, might be Isaac La Roca. As Mubasha Dustizada had a bit to do. Tamil in a phone box was Mo Tamil. DeWood, intelligent enough to have the ball bounce off of play. And in fact, no, it's going to be a Hume ball. Not sure what I'm seeing. Dustizada. Jamie Dib strolling down the flank. Still going is Dib. Mo Tamil taking a touch too many maybe. And Bezadpour can only clear as far as Kartambis.
Hume are in the groove now. It took them some time to get into it, but Dib in particular is starting to dictate things. It's getting the best out of Tamil and of Ube Cicek as well. They continue with Dustizada. Bezadpour. DeWood tried to turn it round the corner for Medina. Could only find touch. Hume knocking on the door. Have their opener, looking for a second, and Dustizada for Dib. Lovely switch for Cicek. Tamil on the overlap. Back with Jamie Dib. Scored a hat-trick a couple of weeks ago against Western United. Got it back from Tamil. Quick 1-2. Lovely intricate movements between those two. Dustizada. Nice. Cicek. Now Dib. Dustizada. Back with Dib again. Now Tamil. Cicek. Hart just sitting in that defensive shape. They will have to land a blow at some point soon. Hume happy to take their time with it. Cicek now. Up against Medina. Waiting on his options. Dib had it open up momentarily. Tamil waited on it, lofted it. Lovely for Dib. Thuram had to make the save at the expense of a corner.
Well kept. Angles got tight. Dib found Dustizada. La Roca. Medina trying to go direct. Not sure where to go. It was Turkman. Falters back towards Matt Thuram. Shaban Rajab just trying to call some order.
And Hart need the win tonight more than anything, not just for their survival hopes, but also Hume are unbeaten in 4 against this Hart side, and the last time that Hart beat Hume was on opening night of Season 1 in 2024.
Yes, that's right. It's been some time. Very different outlook to Hume now as Cicek took it on his outside foot. Dib, lovely control. He has Cicek on for the pass. It's getting scrambly, but the outcome remains the same. It's Ubidi Cicek who fires in Hume's second.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 7, Ubidi Cicek.
He loves it, does he, Ubidi Cicek? Gets himself on the scorer's sheet. And Hume in command with a 2-goal lead.
And he does very well, Cicek. Doesn't give up on the chance, and Swade is looking to make it a 3rd already, and Thuram forced into the save. Don't even get to discuss that goal.
Quick start from Hamza Swade, wasn't he? Just bursting out the gate, really.
Looking for that quick introduction. And Turkman will find him again to have another go at Shaban Rajab. Gives it to Lockie Ramadan. Trying to turn his way beyond Mew is Hume's number 9. Oh. Gives it back to Turkman. Couldn't dance his way beyond Bezadpour or Achigi. Dustizada. Turkman. Back with Dustizada. Now Hamza Swade. Ramadan. Hustled by Mew. Turkman gave it away, and Bezadpour is shifting, rolling. Shaban Rajab couldn't turn it in. Kartambis super save.
What a stop from Kartambis. Thought it was a certain goal. It was brilliant from the 2 veterans in Cicek. in rather Bezatpour and Shaban Rajab, and somehow it hasn't gone in. I can't believe that, Ethan.
Super goalkeeping from Cartambis. That's why they signed him. He's been terrific.
It's a tremendous save.
Absolutely.
Had no right to save that at all. No right, the keeper.
Brilliant. Simply brilliant from the New South Welshman. Sada looking to give him a bit more action. Rajab couldn't clip it into Bezatpour. Took the last touch off Ramadan. Just on that fact sheet as well. When Hart beat Hume on match day 1 in 2024 edition 1, it was also the last time Carlton Hart were top of the league.
Tried helping the Hume boys there by lunging for the ball that was rolling right towards us. The long side ball to Wood. Gets it back from his manager slash captain. Shaban Rajab really trying week in, week out to just get Carlton going and grooving. To Wood, Kartambis rolls into his path. Klanaris, Hamza Swade. Not sure where to go, Hamza. Into a phone box he's gone into, had to concede play. He wanted the movement, never came for him though.
He got pushed further and further back into a corner. And Shaban Rajab hustled him as Reece Tarisi calls timeout. It's been a quick Hume double. Dib with the first, Cicek with the second as we go to our first timeout break. It is Hume 2, Carlton Hart 0.
กีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงจะประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่าพวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. I'm riding around in a benzo. Right? I'm in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like your way.
5 seconds left. They simply had to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds. And look.
From timeout with a Hart corner, Rajab on the volley. Trying to rattle it towards Cartambis. What do Hart need to do to get themselves back into this game?
It's difficult right now, Hume having such authority in possession. Carlton haven't been poor, but have struggled to have their influence on it. It's difficult to decipher really, Ethan. A lot more of that though. I like the creativity over the top. The apprentice and master trying to combine for Carlton into Wood and Shaban Rajab. So a lot more of that please, but otherwise, it's a little bit difficult considering Hume haven't really made any mistakes until now. Guerrero had to come across. Maybe Carlton just trying to infiltrate Hume's overuse of playing the ball too much.
Ichigi did wonderfully well on the press. Then went the loft over Cartambis, who had splayed himself. Guerrero on the scene, crucially, just to hammer it away. Hammered it into the roof. Bit of frost on the court. On a desperately cold Darabin night.
It's bloody freezing in here. Chubbs just saying we can't score to us on commentary. That's a unique thing, Ethan, to have an interview mid-match. That's never happened before. Maybe they can score from here. DeWood hits Guerrero flush in the face. Now Klanaris strolling forward. Guerrero takes a massive tumble. Now Shaban Rajab making a beeline of his own, cutting inside the Mad Dog. Guerrero cuts it off. Haddad for Guerrero. End-to-end futsal right now. Lovely use of the body from Carlton, and now DeWood has an opportunity at the other end. You cheater. Bit going on there, Ethan.
End-to-end futsal completely opened up. Jordan Guerrero was bundled to the floor. Chances at both ends without keepers being worked. When it opens up for Hart like that, fell invitingly to Achigi, had more time than he realised. Could have taken it on more cleanly. As Haddad loses out, Guerrero tries to make amends. Dib didn't go for him. You've picked up something.
I must concede, I wasn't exactly too equipped with how deep in the season we were getting. I thought there was maybe a couple of weeks still left before the final turn-in. But just realising what tonight means for Moreland. Only 2 games clear they now are. They have Carlton next week. After Carlton, in round 20, they have Fitzroy. They finished the season against Western United. Oh, wow, Tamil. A little bit late, maybe. Player resumes in this one. In the meantime, Dib with Guerrero. Ethan was simply checking if the Black Army had Moreland one more time. What a Turkish derby that could have been. But they instead have Carlton, Fitzroy, Western. 2 games out of 3 to become champions.
They have to win both of the next 2, realistically, you would say. Western on the final day, be no easy feat. They would come in as favourites, but they would love to do it against Fitzroy, wouldn't they? All things considered. Considering how many years of hurt, how many Classicos they've been on the wrong end of. They did beat Fitzroy at the state championships when they met at the weekend just gone. So Moreland will want to make their crowning moment the day that Fitzroy hand the keys to the city over.
How that sets us up. How tonight's Pasco Vale result sets the competition up for that match to transpire again. For Moreland, if they were to do it against Fitzroy, would certainly etch another bit of folklore in, well, the narrative that's been built between the 2 clubs. Of course, they can't look past Carlton Hart next week. You're only as good as your last game. Intriguing climax on the cards, Ethan. Carlton needs something here, though. To get themselves out of the relegation automatic position, they got to try find something. It's difficult tonight, though, against Hume, as Guerrero strolling forward. Had lovely shape on it from the Hume number 8. Just not the finish.
Duran beating all ends up as well. Guerrero absolutely fizzed that towards the far corner. Caught it as sweet as you would like, drilled it hard and low. All it didn't have was the couple inches inside the post it needed. Well, that's where Hume are dangerous. They will allow Carlton to come into them now and use, especially Guerrero, especially Haddad, probably Temel too on the break, and they'll let Dib be that conductor that he has been so often in recent weeks. It's been him or Ethan DeMello, who's not amongst their ranks tonight, not in the Arsenal, so Dib will assume that role. But to have Guerrero and Haddad in there too just bolsters that attack. And here is Haddad, turning away from Gluak and firing. Charam forced into the save. Dawood gave it to Medina, who could only lopped it into Dib. Gluak for Dawood, who did well to keep that in.
The Karate Kid.
And Temel retreating, kept it in. Bit of wax on, wax off from Armand Dawood. Guerrero.
180 to keep the ball in play. Nearly took off the official's head in the meantime.
In the meantime, Hart have an opportunity. Shaban Rajab, lovely twisting feet. Gluak got and this super save. Dib to bring it away. Gave it to Haddad, and Hume with Temel, and Dib can calm things down.
Carlton really trying to get themselves a goal. They get themselves into good positions. That's got to be said. That's an improvement from recent weeks. The only issue in their way is the goalkeeping brilliance of Kartambis, who Ethan so far in this one has made some really, really decent saves.
Been terrific. Kept his first Black Army clean sheet a fortnight ago against Western United, as that's a searching ball for Guerrero, who sat the wood down, shifted it wonderfully. Jordan Guerrero, that is a beautiful goal. That is out of this world.
Goal for Hume, number 8, Jordan Guerrero.
That, you run out of superlatives for an unbelievable Black Army blockbuster.
Wow. That had all, well, the red carpet rolled out for it really, didn't it, that Guerrero finish. The ball from Dib, the movement with the ball, the way he got around Duran, and to finish the way he did. Fantastic from Jordan Guerrero. Very crafty player, and all of that was on display in what will be goal of the round, Ethan. Hard to compete with such.
Futsal roof flair at its finest, and they're not quite done yet. Had Dib just left it behind. The Wood got a poke. And now Medina has the chance to go the other way. Cartambis off his line. Medina went round him, but not all the way. Cartambis with a safe pair of hands.
There's almost an air of invincibility right now with Cartambis, considering it was a great run from Medina. Everything but the finish. But you could see just the way his body language before he took the shot on, he knew that against a keeper like Cartambis, it's going to be very difficult. It's almost ejecting his performance so far upon Carlton.
Cicek. Tamil. For Dib. And Mohamed Tamil, whose first appearance in SFV this season has gone rather well so far. Guerrero with a sweet 1-2. Cicek. Jordan Guerrero wanted it back from all of them and hit the post. Feeling galvanised tonight. So is Tamil, who is twisting and turning and sliding on the floor. Gluak tried to lift it over for Medina, who is happy to see it trickle out. Hart are on the ropes.
It's difficult for Carlton Hart, it really is. It's, you can see some former alumni of Noel Solmach, Rona Messino, Sess McCullough, all having a watch. And I'll tell you what, Ethan, you just wonder, moving forward, what happens with Carlton. They're not out mathematically yet, but they need something like that to get them going. It's exactly what they've done. Medina's shot will find its way in from the follow-up, and they've got one back on the board.
Goal scorer for Carlton Hart, number 2, Oliver Mew.
Right place, right time. Mew gets the job done.
Tidy finish. Tidiest the tap-ins you will see. Medina did brilliantly to keep that alive for him, and Mew showing some poacher's instincts to finally get one back.
Followed up nicely. Took the goal scorer. And maybe that air of invincibility surrounding Cartambis and the force field he's really brought into tonight, could say has a hole in it now. That's going to bode Carlton with the world of confidence.
The next 5 minutes are so crucial for Hart. In the way that they step up, they've got to take this momentum with them, and they're putting Suede under pressure. He did well to find Dustizada. Cicek's out the back. Got away from the goal scorer of Mew, who then stood him up and did brilliantly. Got himself in the way. Cicek bundled his way. Dustizada recycled it. Hamza Suede for Turkmen. Dustizada again in the right place at the right time. This time wants to go himself. Cicek couldn't sort out a 1-2. Turkmen tried to find Dustizada again. Medina makes the block. Shaban Rajab and Bezadpour gearing up to come back on. Ramadan reinstated for Colax Hume. He's hustled by the Wood. Turkmen tried the 1-2. The flick round the corner wasn't on. Medina couldn't sort his feet out, and in the end loses out to Suede. Turkmen gave it away. Mew against a sliding Suede, losing out. Ramadan, Hamza Suede from range.
Matran saved that.
He did.
Brilliant stop from the keeper.
Corner taken quickly for Hume. No. Ramadan, Suede's got to tap in. Weatherspoon this time in the way.
How have they walked away from that unscathed? Carlton Hart really disorganised with their changes there. Hume took the corner and nearly strolled in for what was a simple finish. But how about the stop from Duran initially? Brilliant save.
Terrific stop to tip it onto the bar. Does it galvanise Hart? Rajab has nearly kick-started the break. Cartambis, ever the cool customer. Ramadan, hustled by Bezadpour. And Behrad Bezadpour did brilliantly. Kept going all on his own. That is a huge Carlton Hart chance to get back into it.
Can't believe it, Bezadpour. He thought he'd scored. We thought he might have too, considering he got his own ball back. The finish might have been the easy part there, Ethan, but the human freight train just couldn't do it.
Just went for too much loft. Instead of trying to divert it around Cartambis. Hume with a bit of a let-off. Ramadan's touch Not too sharp, Dustizana didn't make it work. Hart, all of a sudden, feeling a chink in the armour. Feeling a chance to claim the ascendancy. Bezadpour got away from three. Oh. Super ball. Medina with the loft. Carlton Hart with class and style. Grab another through Oscar Medina.
Goal for FC Carlton Hart. Number 14, Oscar Medina.
The cheekiest of chips to get them within one.
Brilliant goal. With all the absolute emphasis on the B and the brilliant. That's one of the best goals I've seen from Carlton.
And they're not done yet. Bezadpour for the turnaround. Kartambis off his line to make the save. Oh. Now goes on a wander. Rajab had an open net and he just rushed it.
And Alan Kolak is scrambling to get some players back on court in the likes of Chuchik and potentially Guerrero. We're all having a spell right now. That was a fantastic goal from Medina. Bezadpour's really come to life in the last, say, 2-3 minutes. And he's got Carlton really playing fluent futsal.
Here is Medina. Cuts inside. Swade trying to split the ball for Isaac LaRocca.
It's a smashing goal, Ethan.
Terrific finish.
It's a hard feat to execute the chip.
On someone the size of Kartambis as well. He's a tall lad.
He is.
A lovely loft. Waited wonderfully in Kartambis this time. Nearly caught on it by Berad Bezadpour.
Barad's lifted a lot in his last few minutes in the match. He's a hot player right now, Bezadpour. He's leading. He's providing a lot of pressure, which is making things difficult for Dib and company defensively.
It's given away again. Bezadpour, lovely footwork. Medina twisting and turning. Ramadan, that is a crucial challenge. And then bump Medina off him for good measure. Lachlan Ramadan wants to go all on his own. Shaban Rajab putting a stop to it, or so we thought. Hamza Swade with an open goal, went adventurous, acrobatic. Durham didn't know much about it and pushed it away for a corner.
Carlton wanted the foul. Ramadan just kept going and Swade got very creative. Duran would clear, and that's going to be half time. Quick half between both Hume and Carlton Hart. FC Carlton Hart, Ethan, showcasing a decent outing despite the scoreline.
Fabulous first half of futsal. One of two halves in itself. Hume with the fast start, 3 up inside 10 minutes. Carlton Hart with a late flurry have got 2 back when they have needed to. As we head to half time in Darabin, Carlton Hart incredibly far from out of it. They have a pulse. They have the opportunity to try and turn it around on the other side of the break, as it is Hume 3, Carlton Hart 2.
สำหรับผมในกีฬาฟุตซอลครับ2 อย่างที่ต้องมีครับในตัวนักกีฬาฟุตซอลครับก็ระเบียบวินัยแล้วก็ความมุ่งมั่นครับมี2 อย่างนี้ก็ทำให้คุณอาจประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
ก็ฟุตซอลเป็นเหมือนชีวิตผมครับเพราะว่าผมทำมันมาตั้งแต่เด็กแล้วก็คิดว่ามันน่าจะเป็นส่วนหนึ่งในชีวิตของผมเลยครับ
ผมเสียสละในกีฬานี้ก็ในเรื่องของเวลาครับเพราะว่าเราต้องทิ้งทุกอย่างไว้ข้างหลังครับแล้วก็คอนเซนเทรตแล้วก็มีความมุ่งมั่นกับกีฬานี้เพื่อที่จะพัฒนาตัวเองแล้วก็ไปสู่ความสำเร็จครับ
สำหรับต้องมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็ความอดทนแล้วก็ความพยายามครับผมถึงประสบความสำเร็จได้ครับ
พวกเราไม่เคยหยุดไล่ล่า พวกเรามาที่นี่เพื่อพิชิตพวกเราหยุดไม่ได้
I grew up with low self-esteem. Was me and my mama just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you. I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home. Like what what a bow. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives. The crew riding round in a benzo. Right? I've been in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind. Now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive. But look at me now.
I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like your way.
5 seconds left. They simply had to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds. And look what it means to everybody here. It is absolutely stupid from Adam Cooper with the last kick of the game to equalise for the Moreland Blues, and he's kept them perfect in season 1 of 2025. Right, a headline like this, he simply cannot. Decent matchup cooking up here to take you home from what's been one of the rounds to remember so far this season. Carlton Hart trailed by only a goal. Hume had a quick start, earning 3 to get this underway. Carlton on the cusp of half-time, drawing it back to a 1-goal deficit. Ethan Rigg, Adam Palombi will take you home for the final time. The final half of the round is here. Carlton Hart, Ethan, having, as we like to say with their namesake, week in, week out, a pulse.
Certainly a pulse. More than just a pulse for Carlton Hart so far. They are right back in this game. They are beating. Truly beating, and they need 2 to turn it around. If that last 5 or 10 minutes is anything to go by, it might be good value for that. They will need to catch Hume where it hurts. They will need to hit them hard on the break, but there's everything going for them. Berube Cicek wanted to extinguish a few hopes early.
Threw his body right at the ball to get the shot away and took a big tumble. Alcaceres steams out a corner. Starting to, well, just fizzle out, perhaps, those around here. It's a very cold night. Although Shaban Rajab has been warm, he goes down. Haddad has a look around him to say, come on, Sharps. But he never really protested that being a foul, more a loss of his foot.
It's been one of those nights, hasn't it? On a cold, cold Friday, a frosty Friday in the north of Melbourne. It's been slippy, it's been skiddy. It's been zippy, it's been fantastic, and Haddad is looking to add to that.
Still don't think we've scratched the surface yet on Haddad. Dib commands the space. Cicek. Medina pressing high. Klanaris. Searching ball. Cicek. Propped up nicely for him, Ethan, considering he was in such a tight angle. And that being said, he was able to guide his foot just with a side foot effort to draw a corner.
He called it sweet as Haddad is trying to do just that. Duran made the save, cleared into Dib, who then brought it down to make it work. Klanaris got it out of his feet, couldn't wrap it beyond the wood. Hart just making a hash of clearing their lines, and Hume all over it. Klanaris will have a side ball, rolled it for Haddad. Gave it to Dib at the top of the area. Haddad, Klanaris. Cicek. Face to face with Medina. Return to Klanaris. Haddad looked to spin away from Armand Dawood. And in the end, Achigi and Duran both got a touch. Hume corner.
Klanaris from the corner. Haddad trying to unsight Adam Duran. It falls for Dib. Not sure where he's going. Cicek delegates the ball. Haddad. Firm was Rajab.
The one thing Carlton can't afford this game to do at the moment in this second half, they can't let it get cagey. They've got to keep it as free-flowing as possible.
Cicek. Dib. Back to Cicek. Clemaris was an option for Dib. He's worked himself into a bit of a tight space. Chichek. Jamie Dib once more. Just has it behind Clemaris. Not on the same wavelength. The two Hume players. Guerrero and Tamil ready to re-grace the court. Sinan Gulak against one of his former employers. Strolls towards the pivot section. He's a player on his day, Ethan, who can really impact a game, but well, it's not exactly often. Clemaris has options. Haddad gets there. Big slide from Rajab. Haddad's feeling it, certainly.
Superb save as well from Matt Duram. Brilliant goalkeeping. Has his weight go back the other way. Gets two strong hands behind him, pushes it wide for a corner. That's a terrific save.
Enjoying this real competitive yet rather friendly battle between Haddad and Rajab. It's well defended in the end by Carlton. On comes Jordan Guerrero. Ethan, what we saw him do in that first half. Truly remarkable. A player who's had some history with SFV over the years. Different times now, though, as Guerrero caught it nicely. Chichek intervened with a cheeky flick on. Hume back with a 2-goal buffer.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 7, Ubide Chichek.
He's enjoying his futsal. Ubide Chichek. It's beautiful the way he just guided the ball beyond a helpless Matt Duran.
Him and Guerrero as well, their link up almost telepathic so far tonight. Those are two players who have clearly caught each other's eye. Their games have moulded well together. Ube Chichek with another terrific finish. An instinctive effort. Duram, nothing he could do. Hume needed that goal. They have their buffer back, but they might be about to be reduced. Kluak with the drive, and Kartambis got down.
Manages to always just have his body in the right place. As Kartambis really spreads himself well as a goalkeeper. Rajab. Dawood. Carlton's still just struggling to get the ball in a real danger zone. Guerrero gets it off of the captain, Rajab. Tamil at the back posts. Too much on it from Guerrero.
Don't mind that ball from Jordan Guerrero whatsoever. It's inventive. It's inviting for Tamil. It was too heavy for him. He did have Dib as the other option, but I like Guerrero going adventurous.
Jamie Dib, Guerrero. Tamil, unmarked. Haddad, wanting to get busy and go solo. Can't escape the traffic. Rajab, Gulak, heavy touch with the back heel. Nutmeg back heel of Haddad. Will work somehow. It's getting busy, the number 10 for Hume. Duran saves. Wanted to go quickly. Dawood, well, he was there for the option, Ethan, but all considered, never really in the race to win the ball there.
No, he wasn't really, was he? And Tamil does very well to just sort of take that space away from Dawood, where even if he brought it down, you'd have sensed that Hume would have had it back almost immediately. They're just suffocating Hart out of this game at the moment, limiting the chances. And with the ball users they've got, they're just keeping possession so very well.
Jamie Dib. Guerrero, Tamil makes it work. Guerrero. Lovely ball for Tamil, who's still going. Brilliant save by Duran again. Loving the play of Jordan Guerrero.
Crucial stop from Duram, and Hart might be on the break. We'll touch on Guerrero in a second. Shaban Rajab leading it, and speaking of him, one end to the other, Jordan Guerrero.
Everywhere.
The engine of this Hume team tonight. He's been everywhere. He's been brilliant. And that ball is no exception. That one either to Ramadan, who gives it back. He continued his run, somehow beat them all to it. Guerrero tried to give it to Dib. Ramadan found him eventually. Guerrero having some fun out there. Tamil. Dib. Back for Tamil in advance. Lovely roll. Guerrero unmarked. Dib, they walk it in. That is a superb Hume goal. It is free-flowing futsal from Kolak's side.
Goal for Hume, number 14, Jamie Dibb.
Terrific from Dibb as well, just to hold his run and not to go too heavy to the back post. He held that top area, and it was the simplest finish.
So satisfying when the move works out from the training court onto match day. It's exactly, I'm sure, what Alan Kolak had wanted his side to do. Of course, they've been on the record recently, Hume, to publicly state that they've been doing a couple of training sessions per week. And while lots of understanding between the New South Wales players, of course, don't believe can attend those training sessions midweek, but well, when they're of that quality, they've got all the ample matchday readiness you can imagine. Such a well-crafted goal by Hume.
Brilliant, brilliant futsal from the Black Army. Kolak's side firing on all cylinders. And Hearts, who've had to dig out their soul at times this season, are they out of time? They've got few minutes to save themselves, but they've given away an opportunity for Hume to have a set-piece chance.
All considered though, Ethan. You look at Aku, they had the bye tonight. They return next week against Western United, who have struggled in form recently. Just makes you think if Aku are to get a victory on the board, or even a draw, how could completely but surely have automatic relegation all but confirmed for Carlton.
If Hart don't win tonight and Aku win next week, it's over. As in, mathematically, they cannot escape that automatic relegation place.
So Carlton have to get busy here. Simply no more chances after tonight. Guerrero lost the ball. He's still going somehow. Guerrero, he makes it look too easy.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 8, Jordan Guerrero.
Simply breezed through as if the Carlton players weren't there, much to their valiance. A big smile on Jordan Guerrero's face. Hume with a commanding lead on this one as we cross to a timeout break.
But look at me now.
5 seconds left. They simply had to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds. And look what it means to everybody here. It is absolutely stupid from Adam Cooper with the last kick of the game to equalise for the Moreland Blues, and he's kept them perfect in season 1 of 2025. Right a headline like this, you simply cannot.
A good futsal player has to be intelligent. It's the most important quality in a futsal player, because a futsal player is very fast, and you have to think really fast. You don't have time, you don't have a space. They have to enjoy the game. This finally, futsal or football or basketball or tennis, it's only a game, so they have to enjoy.
We return from timeout with Hart on the brink. We said they had a pulse. They have now had their condition worsen, and all of a sudden it is critical. Only the finest performance would save them from here, and they have to bring it out. They have to claw something back. Time is their enemy in this game, in this season. If relegation is to be avoided, it would take a simply unbelievable turnaround if they were not to go away. But Guerrero is looking to diminish those chances. He has been simply out of this world tonight. Finds Cicek. Dibb gave it back to Guerrero. Oh, gorgeous loft. Dibb rolled it back for Guerrero. Cicek, hat-trick hunting, stopped it up, rolled it, waited on the options. Guerrero, they walk in another. Jesus. Super futsal Hume, and they are running away with it.
Goal for Hume, number 8, Jordan Guerrero.
No doubts that time, the coolest of finishes.
Jeez, it was simply how else can you describe it, really? Hume making it look too easy.
And they're not done yet. Dustizada tried to find Cicek again.
It's a real demoralising goal, to be frankly honest. I think Carlton are deserving of such, but Hume taking no prisoners tonight. They were just as straight as you like in terms of having no remorse at all. And they're in again here. Turkmen joins the party. The Black Army really having command now.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 22, Omer Turkmen.
And this scoreline might get uglier and uglier by the minute, Ethan.
Hart have got to find a way to stop hemorrhaging goals right now. The Black Army winning the battles on all fronts, pushing themselves closer to the relative paradise that is 5th place in terms of the relegation battle. Cold winter has come, but at least Hume at the moment have some fire to keep them warm. They have the firepower to be breezing away, and that was another beautiful goal.
That was well done from Medina. A lot of composure. Bezaport back from Medina. I've enjoyed his dribbling so far tonight for Carlton Hart, the number 14. It's been nifty. Bezaport. Medina. Pass, just not going to find his teammate.
That's been Hart's issue tonight. As well, when Hume have had possession, they've looked so assured and so controlled, but with Hart, it's been stringy. It's been rather thrown together. There hasn't been a lot of sustained pressure.
Kartambis coming off his line. Temel for Turkmen. Incisive as the captain. Wanted Turkmen again, had a lot to do. It's, well, quite the picture being painted on the Carlton Hart bench. After tonight, it's out of their hands. Arc, of course, still have to get a victory. Western, in recent weeks, been undermanned, a little bit undersized maybe. Fitzroy dismissed them pretty comfortably tonight. It's been a recurring theme for United in the back end of this season. They always start decently, but they just seem to peter out. That's somewhat happened again. Just goes behind him. Somewhat really encapsulating Carlton Hart this season, of course. We mentioned it, they come up from the championship after St George Bulls had folded as a club. And well, it was a different regime really under the Harris, well, both brothers and father. Chubbs re-emerged as a player. It's always a positive, but you just really wonder, Ethan, where does the club go from here? Because they're a staple of SFV. They're a big club, they're a storied club, a lot of history.
Couple of titles. I think it seems at the moment it will be the championship via that automatic relegation place, unless they win tonight, unless they find a way to turn it around and they win the next two. But for Hart, I think you've got to look at the youth. The youngsters they've got are talented players. They've all got a lot of potential. DeWood and LaRocca in particular. I think a season in the championship would do them both some good.
It's about retention though, really, Ethan, to be quite frank. It's whether they can keep those players on board for the journey. Pasco Vale have done it. They were State League 1 at one stage. The Chargers came with a vision. And I'm sure Chaban Rajab has something certainly up his sleeve. They're a club that have breeded a lot of good players across the competition, past and present. But again, it's appearing to be back to the drawing board for FC Carlton Hart. Not out of this game yet, but, well, they need a miraculous turnaround, and it doesn't help that Dustizada has possession. Swade, Temel. Swade once more, incisive for Temel. Turning was Mo Temel. Which way is he going to go? He's going to goal upon his return.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 24, Mohamed Temel.
It's great to see Mo Temel back doing what he does best. And he also joins the goal scoring party.
With a gorgeous goal at that as well from Mo Temel. You want to mark your return. That's the way to do it. The ball to find him as well from Swade is wonderful, whereas Weatherspoon at the other end has a chance. Swade now might be able to go his own way. Achigi and Rajab Took 2 to take it off him, and still then he went and won it back as Clonaris along with him. Hamza Suede wanted to twist and turn through all of them and won a free kick. But that goal from Mo Temel was simply terrific.
The goals in this game really have been of a high quality. There's no denying that. From both sides, really. Carlton's goals were really good. Hume's have been very decent.
I believe that Shaban Rajab has just gone into the book.
Temel will roll it here. He's got Clonaris and Suede out wide. It's really about who he's going to utilise. Be surprised if Temel shot this, Ethan. Does roll it. Turkmen, brilliant goal from Hume. Cutting. Fantastic, incisive futsal, and Turkmen has a double.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 22, Ahmed Turkmen.
Had us all bamboozled, really, Ethan. We thought that Temel was going to try go out wide. He went central instead. Hume really showcasing some fine attacking futsal.
They certainly were, and it was a lovely ball. So inviting from Temel. Allowed Turkmen just to come onto it, wrap his foot around it, and find the back of the net with aplomb. Super finish for his second of the night, and nothing less than Hume deserve. They have been wonderful. Hart right now. You feel like this may well and truly be it. Time is still left, of course, and there's still games to be played.
It's all about if Aku can win next week.
It all does hinge on that.
And when Aku came together with Carlton Hart, it was quite the entertaining contest. Carlton had won that game, of course.
My problem with Hart's escape hope here is the goal difference.
Yeah, no, it does not bode well for them at all, does it?
They have conceded double digits on 9 occasions this season. And if you get one more, it's a 10th. Jeez. That is where the problem has been. That defensively, as you've seen tonight, when they've conceded 1, when they've conceded 2, that all of a sudden balloons out to 7 or 8. And the wheels have come off once more, but the Black Army are relishing this kind of scenario. Ramadan. Suede. Clonaris. Fizzed it into the feet of Ramadan. Got it back and tested Jaram. Stung his palms, but he was able to gather it. And then wanted to look long, but nobody obliged him with a run.
Well, of course, FC Carlton Hart recently had some silverware come home with them. Their women's team picking up a trophy at the state championships over the weekend. It's in Teresi. Very excited to have the gold medal around his neck and guide his side to the victory. So it hasn't been all doom and gloom with Carlton. A youth competition running nicely as well on a Thursday at Brunswick. And of course the men's. Their women's side performing decently in SFEW. It's just their men's team, Ethan. They just can't seem to get harmonious.
That's the only real issue for them as a club at the moment. The youth team, as we've noted, they are a talent factory.
Yeah.
When it comes to producing quality futsal players, and you're seeing the next wave of that, the next cabs off the rank in the likes of DeWood and Alex LaRocca. That next generation of talented Hart youngsters, and there's one of them, DeWood. Caught it sweet. Didn't get it beyond Suede. Clonaris. Dib. Oh. DeWood hustled him. And they'll have a free kick. But just to go back to that, as a club, there's a lot of positives to take from this season. This is just a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole picture. This is a rough season for them in this division, but it's not the whole picture.
There's got to be some learnings you can take from it. I think with anything, you know, perhaps in sport and in life, as much as it's not going well for you, there's always a lesson you can learn, I guess. There's some wisdom for you at 10:30 on a Friday night. But no, they'd have to take something away from this experience so far this season. Meanwhile, Guerrero is loving his SFE experience. Chichek was queuing up, and Hume are completely dominating now.
Goal Goal scorer for Hume, number 7, Umede Chiche.
Well, there's learnings from all sides in our maiden season on an internationally sized court. That's recognised, of course, by governing bodies. And from what we've learnt, Ethan, is if you're not defensively sound, you will be exposed. Of course, at Thomastown, the smaller court back in the day, the shoebox, as New South Wales counterparts would claim it to be, would really confine the space and make it hard for teams to score. Say if it was a lower ranked club against a higher ranked team, there was somewhat of an odds evener, if you will, considering the lesser talented club, if you may, would tuck in, defend, not offer any space, make it really difficult. On this court, that goes right out the window. That does not exist on this court.
It certainly does. And I think that's where Hume have been smart in their recruitment this season, because they're the league's lowest scorers going into tonight are the Black Army, but defensively, the reason they got off to such a slow start was because of that, whereas now they've shored it up. Yes, having the New South Welsh arrival has helped, but they've shored up defensively. Cartambis has looked rock solid, and there's a commitment there to improving on that international size court, and they're reaping the rewards of it. Okay, they'll go through the playoffs, but they're in a position to go into those playoffs and be very, very high favourites to stay up.
They did last season. It's not foreign to them. They're notoriously slow starters to seasons also. Think back to perhaps season 1 in 2024. They lost their first 5 games. Bit of inconsistency also in the second season of last year. But just intriguing to see what they've done so far. With all these New South Wales players and new kits and a bit of a new attitude, of course, a new era under Alan Kolak. So customers right now, Ethan, across the competition, we're not too sure how to evaluate. You just wonder if they are to retain these guys from New South Wales on a more full-time basis for a longer stretch and longer period in consecutive fashion, just if they can all have it meshed together with the pieces they currently have. Lots of Temel and Chichek and Ramadan and so on.
I think that's the biggest test for Kolak in the off-season is, can you get these guys to come back as Chichek turns in another. Found superbly by Ramadan. And Ube Chichek is adding many more to his tally.
Goal for Hume, number 7, Ubedi Chichek.
Cool finish at the back post. He made a darting run, a crisp run, and applied a clinical finish for his 4th, possibly 5th of the night.
Of course, clubs do go through transition phases. There's no denying that. I think in any sport, really, people forget about, well, troubled pasts in terms of results and whatnot. They only see what's being successful, and that's a player who personifies success. So much strength about Haddad, and he scores again for Hume.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 10, Anthony Haddad.
Undeniable, the number 10 there. Quenched his thirst for a goal.
He's been threatening all night as well, Anthony Haddad. Hit the ground running in SFV. Hasn't had the goals dry up at all. They've come less frequently in recent weeks, but he's had the same influence as Kluak, just bundles Guerrero to the ground.
It's really David against Goliath again. There's a bit of a size discrepancy there. Gulak towering over Guerrero. Completely unnecessary. Frustrated perhaps. Sinan Gulak. As Haddad, Duran gets his hand onto it and makes the save. Think back, of course, to when these two sides first met. 7-all. Carlton trailed at one stage by 5 goals. Somehow came back. Of course, some time ago, but, well, it's a talking point between these two sides this season.
Certainly has been, and that game, Hart showed so much grit, especially late on. Yes, they were led well by Tom Harris at that time, who scored goals to get them back into the game. But since then, apart from the win over Aki, they haven't really built on the momentum that night gave them. They played well. Were unlucky to find themselves in the situation they did. Hume played some good futsal too, to their credit. But you always felt like Hart would get something out of that game. And at 3-2 tonight, they had a glimmer. But the second Hume got that first goal in the second half, it was almost like the air went out of the sails.
One-way traffic, really. No denying that. Been crispy in possession, Hume. Haven't really put a foot wrong. Guerrero still just wanting to keep trailblazing. He makes it look so easy, Jordan Guerrero. He gets another.
Goal scorer for Hume, number 8, Jordan Guerrero.
Showcasing there's levels to this game at the expense of FC Carlton Hart. Jordan Guerrero making things look like a normal day at the office.
Terrific from Jordan Guerrero, who has clearly been the best player on court tonight. He has been a wonder to watch, and we hope he's not quite done yet. Dib gives it to Haddad, who gives it to Guerrero, who rolls it back for Dib, and Hume add another with significant ease.
Goal for Hume, number 14, Jamie Dib.
A new South Welsh trio, a triad. It makes it 15 for Hume. Those three from start to finish have been the difference. They have been why Colac brought them down. They've been simply terrific.
Oh, no mercy, really. No denying such. Dib has done really well to keep the ball in play and execute the challenge. Oh, the clearance was needed by Carlton. Medina, not for DeWood. Oh, it's another very heavy loss for FC Carlton Hart. And all considered, Ethan, it's difficult really to decipher. It hasn't really been a bad performance. It's simply something about a skill issue or quality between the two sides. Too much of a contrast, really. Although it being level nearly at one stage. Karatambis is going to venture out of his goals. Just wonder, in terms of, because national team selection, of course, is a big thing across Australian futsal. Just wonder what tonight really means in terms of performances across the competition. Michael Newen played a blinder, no denying that. In terms of players in form that weren't exactly tonight, Adam Cooper, you'd have to argue, was somewhat up there. Wasn't his best performance, I'm sure, by his own admission. Not really doing his usual heroics. Katambis has made some great saves in this one. Is there someone? I think I'm definitely missing a few players from the recent game, Ethan, if you want to have your say on this right now.
There's so many names you could throw in there, but before we do, Anthony Haddad is going to add another. Hume are running riot, and Hart are running out of time. To answer your question, Adam, tonight's, you look at the national team selection, you look at the fact that this league is home to a lot of players who are the national champions.
Yes.
Home to a lot of quality, even before that stage. Now on an international court, there have been significant strides made. You look at players like Michael Newen. I mean, you can't forget names like Scott Rogan and Adam Cooper, who have
never
represented.
forgotten, though. Like, just to interrupt you there, like, it goes without being said, mainly for Scott Rogan. Cooper, it's been a bit of time, but given his form so far this season, I'm sure he's keeping himself in the mix. Corey Sewell, of course, haven't seen much of him, given other commitments, but they're almost a given. Just think about players that haven't done it yet. And well, Newen was adamant when he signed for Pasco Vale that that's what he wanted to achieve, and his futsal's done the talking. It's out of everyone's control other than the selectors, but you just wonder if they are watching now what they'd take away from this round.
You would take away that Michael Newen is knocking the door down as hard as he can. As Hart might be able to get one back, Weatherspoon flashed it wide. would have been a consolation for them. But that would be my biggest takeaway from tonight. Michael Newen is banging the door down as hard as he can. The way he's played this season, the way he played tonight. You talk about potentially 1 and 2 in the MVP race going head-to-head. Newen got the better of Pimenta tonight. And that has not been an easy thing to do this season. I don't think anybody has got the best of Enrique Pimenta this season until Michael Newen has tonight. The performance he put in, the discipline he showed as well, having been on a yellow from early on.
The talking point really, Ethan, would be without the Santos, the Blues. Really, they're almost their heart and soul was missing tonight. Not entirely, of course, but well, it's not too far to say that without the Santos, something was just simply missing. A real key instrument. Just shows you the importance of certain players. And, well, I'm sure KDS will return before the season's end, but bit of a sign tonight, really, wasn't it? With all being considered.
A little bit of a sign. I don't know how much into it we can read, as it is their first game without him. So that will take some growing pains. There will be an adjustment period. And I thought, in fairness to Moreland, especially the latter end of that second half, they looked to have figured it out. The problem is they didn't play their best futsal without him until Pasco Vale were 3-0 up. Yeah. But since then, I thought Moreland figured it out rather well. So next week will be another week where they can get that to gel. The real test comes in a fortnight when they play Fitzroy. That will be the telling factor. But he's a huge loss. You cannot deny that.
In a strange twist of fate, the Moreland loss tonight opens things up for what we haven't seen in some time. The title has come down to the final day. It would have been 2 years ago. Fitzroy, Moreland, the last day of the season, although it's the second last fixture of the first season this year. Absolute fireworks that night when Josh Allen scored the winner, which won Fitzroy the title. Now, that's currently not what's on the cards, but Moreland need 2 wins to have it all but mathematically impossible for anyone else. They play Carlton Hart next week. Heavy favourites. Fitzroy the week after. Anything could happen. Of course, they win one more game after that. They have to beat Western on the final day. But given the form that, well, who knows what could happen.
Do you know what really
But it's not over yet is what we're trying to say, obviously.
Do you know what really intrigues me about that? Fitzroy played Pasco Vale on the last day. How important a game could that be? If they win the Classico and Pasco Vale win that week, the top 3 will be separated by 3 points. So Moreland will be 3 clear of Fitzroy, who'll be on the same number of points as Pasco Vale. So if they all win their remaining games until that final day, bar the Classico, it leaves us in a very, very interesting predicament where we could have the top 3 going for the title on the last day. Now that is something in futsal fantasy, but it could become reality if the right storm plays out.
And the storm has subsided here, Ethan, much to the content of FC Carlton Hart. The full-time score, Hume FC 16, Carlton Hart 2. I think that's going to be all from us here tonight. We appreciate you joining us for what was a certain round to remember of SFV in the men's competition. Until next Friday, we'll see you soon. Testing. Jamie Dibb, quite the performance tonight in Hume colours. How are you finding life in Series Futsal Victoria?
Yeah, loving it, to be fair. It's been good. Now played a few games with the boys and the existing boys there, so starting to get familiar with them and combining with them, and then it helps having the other Sydney boys that we've played quite a bit with. So good mix of players, and it's, I think, coming together quite nicely.
In terms of differences in comparison to Sydney and Melbourne, what would you say is different about Series Futsal?
To be fair, the individual quality of the opponents that we verse is quite high. So there's some really good individuals. And yeah, the teams play reasonably well. Good movement. Yeah, so it's been a good challenge.
Forward thinking, but leading into next season, if Hume-Hart have all the current players stuck together, I'm sure they're going to be certainly in the mix for top 4. Would we expect to maybe see some more players like yourself remain in the competition come season 2?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. I think Adam's building something quite nice here. All the boys are enjoying it, enjoying the competition, and it's a good challenge to hopefully compete with some of the big boys in this league.
Thank you for your time, Jamie Dibb.
I'm the one leading the drives, riding round in a benzo. My own fate, left the excuses behind. Now the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now.
When I get older, I will be stronger. They'll call me freedom, just like your way.
5 seconds left. They simply had to be perfect from here to keep their perfect record alive. Adam Cooper, is this the moment for him? Cooper has equalised against all odds, and look what it means to everybody here. It is absolutely stupid from Adam Cooper with the last kick of the game to equalise for the Moreland Blues, and he's kept them perfect in season 1. Race into Rissi, Carlton Hart, another night where it hasn't gone for them in the men's competition. Where to from here, really?
It's building on the positives, and I think there were a lot of positives. Man, that first half was some of the best futsal we've played all season. Had we put more away, we put a bit of time pressure, it's a different game. But I think it's about not dropping our heads, looking for the positives and building. It's all about building.
Quite frankly, it's out of your hands now, Aku. Have to lose next week for there to be a glimmer of hope. With it out of your control now, what are you trying to keep in the locker room in terms of a positive mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's never great when it's not in your control, but we can only, put simply, control what we can control. That's our emotions, how we respond to adversity, and how much character we're going to show.
I think we'll wrap it up there. Race into Rissi for Carlton Hart.
The group is the key of success. If you don't have a union group, you can win some matches, you can win some tournaments, but finally you don't win the World Cup or you don't win the European Championship. You need a strong group and everybody go in the same direction. The futsal is totally different than in Europe or in